jar.
Sure.
Okay. Who can do the recap this time? Who's up for it?
Here's looking at you, kid.
I guess it's default to me then.
Yep.
So, how did we started off? Alsana.
Still in Soren.
Yep, still in
Soren.
Soren.
Yeah.
Alsana made a trip from her little place she's staying over to the breakfast area of the rest of the party.
Kane got around to some things.
Yep, Kane had plans for that day.
Yep.
Alsana had a few as well. Calda was kind of in and out of existence. And
Correct.
Alaris was going to give the library another good old college try. Fortunately, he didn't go to college. So I believe the first bit was just kind of. Was there anything we did before Kane left for the day?
We had talks, but nothing major.
Yeah, there's just conversation. So Kane headed out for his supposed date. Alsana followed quickly in cat form.
Because of course she fucking did.
Because of course she did. And Kane proceeded over to the book nook, was it?
Yep.
And there met can't remember the name, Eloise.
Mm-hmm.
And proceeded to order unicorn foam.
Obviously.
It's the far away box or whatever, the thing from Trek. It was that. And
I think it was unicorn sprinkles. I don't think it was unicorn foam.
It was unicorn foam
foam.
and sprinkles were added.
Yes.
It was in some kind of fancy coffee name. I don't remember what it was.
Espresso.
Okay.
But that was had apparently. And Eloise appeared just a bit afterwards, also with a unicorn foam in hand.
Because of course.
And they had a nice little conversation, various things. Actually, Eloise dropped quite a bit of information. Just this vague things here and there. Apparently, there's a cult around, or at least there is debatably, around the old Green Dragon King that supposedly ran the rivers of the Green River. I was trying to remember the name, and supposedly, one myth goes his blood ran it green. However, it's just kind of vague hearsay. There's nothing quite concrete. Was there any other details they discussed?
Yeah, stuff that the Wismans would. Fae and things like that.
Right, yes. They had talks about the where Kane grew up over near the Deep Thicket. And the fact that, deeper you go, the bigger things get. And then I think they headed from there to a smoke play? What was the term for it?
They kind of walked around town, but afterwards, as they were coming back, they came across the pretty much the stage in the town, the place where performances of various kinds would be put on. And inside, since it's still cold, the outdoor stage wasn't in use, but the inside the building, there was a smoke singer.
Smoke singer, that was the term I was looking for.
Yep, very particular kind of storyteller in this world.
And the currently thing being sung via smoke, I suppose, was the tale of the Wind Mage chasing a shadow across the plains. It was kind of the tail end. They didn't exactly get there at the very beginning. But basically moves from plane to plane, making the power of the area her own and vanquishing the shadow from whatever corner it might run and hide in. Proper name was given later of Aelin Stormgust. Also as well, Alsana had kind of stopped the weird cat stalking. Around the time they left the Book Nook to go and pursue her own meetings for the day. Headed over to her bee friend and her book friend that she had made previously. Brief conversations were had about other potential mages and things like that, and as well there was the kind of point in the direction of Eloise for a potential bit of learning. Small bit, maybe a cantrip, but good enough for her. And also just said goodbye to the friends. Past that, I mean, there was a lot of talking and dialogue, but there wasn't a whole lot that happened for that first day.
Yeah, more character stuff.
Yep. And eventually the party headed out. Traveling out of Sorin to the east. We're going along the Drake Run, right?
More or less. You might not be following the bank exactly. Occasionally
but the
there
path
might
adjacent
have been.
to it.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Yep. Our destination is Lyrie, I believe.
Lyrie.
Lyrie.
Yep. And before you reached that point,
Lasana spotted a area. Kind of a hill with rings and loops to it in its kind of topography. Or I guess not topography, like it's the way the plants were growing, which they were growing, which is odd for being the tail end of winter. At least from the amount there was. And she kind of floated over, looking over ring after ring. There was long grass and a thing of mushrooms. And in the middle was a form, a three-headed form, digging in the ground. And initiative was left till the next session.
we actually rolled initiative at the end of that
Right,
one,
yes,
so that
we did.
we're ready to go.
Important question, though.
Indeed, we did.
Yes?
How big does a chimera have to be cool?
Again, it's not a standard monster.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not a standard animal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alright. So with that, I'll go ahead and move you guys back over onto the map. The rest of the party was left a good bit behind by Alsana going ahead to scout on the broom. Alsana is just above the tall grasses. I'd say the grass here is probably about 7 to 8 feet tall. You might be 10 feet above to avoid brushing it with your toes. You might be another 5 feet on top of that. I'll let you decide now.
Yeah, I'd say about, in the higher, 10, 15.
Okay.
Basically, just as you want to get a better view of the whole area.
Yep, we'll go ahead and go with about 15. With that, you should be able to see the turn order, I hope.
Oh, right, no one rolled above a 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And with that, if everybody's on the page, on the map, you see your tokens. Everybody else is kind of in the bottom left-hand corner. Alsana is close to dead center. And
Cute choice
as
of words.
Well, that's up to you, isn't it? Well, it might not be, actually.
I was gonna say.
No, it's not. You are last in the turn order. I am so sorry for what is about to transpire. Hey, some might get distracted. Or they might not. They might not.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Kind of love when Arlo goes into murder mode.
Just as the Chimera took notice of Alsana and reared up, you also, some of you from the distance, Alsana from much closer up, uncomfortably close, saw around in the vicinity of the ring of stones that surrounds the ring of grass, what was initially seemed to be shards and clumps of ice that had grown on these stones, perhaps in the thaw and refreezing overnight, abruptly shuddered into movement, unfurled what looks like wings and claws, and looked up at you as well. And one or two, perhaps, down on the rest of the party. So, you know it's more than just a chimera? And unfortunately, they are moving first, so let's start the battle mix. And let's see what these guys decide to do, because yeah, that's not going to reach any of you. That'll reach you. That cannot reach you. And that one doesn't have a hope either, unless it dashes. Okay, one can reliably reach you in its turn. So, you've got one Alsana darting up towards you.
Alright.
And it's going to... Let's see. It's going to lash out with its claws. Let's just keep it simple. It's testing some waters here. Does an 18 hit?
Oh yeah, it does.
Alright, that is 3 slashing damage plus 1 cold. As this thing has, as its appearance pretty much belies, a very, very frosty set of claws. The other 3 cannot reach you in time. They're going to each attempt something. You see them kind of curling their arms in towards their chest, their wings in tight, and they seem to be focusing on something, some glimmer of light inside of them. 1. That's a yes.
Ah.
2. Nope. 3. Okay. 2 of them succeed in summoning. This one gets 3 more mephits within 60 feet. That's going to be a mess. I'm sorry, you guys. You know what? Yeah. Yep.
So Alsana's gonna have a fun time.
Yep. So, that'll be 1. Did that appear? Yes. 2. Let's go ahead and have another one further away. It's gonna start trying to scoot that way. 3. And I'm gonna make these... Actually, I'll make these not blue, but purple. As they came off of this one, which I will make blue as the summoner. And then, let's see, that one failed. It wasted its turn in action. This one managed to summon 1, and it's going to go ahead and it's seen the rest of you. It's going to summon its 1 about there, 60 feet away from it. Let's make that one orange, and its originator red. The red one is, yeah, sure, it's going to go ahead and make a squawking sound and start streaking towards you guys. It gets about there. With a dash, it can get about even with its fellow. So that one... Oh, actually, it can't dash. It used its action, so it gets there. This one can move, let's say, about there. Alsana is getting a little bit ganged up on, though a couple of them cannot get that close.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just a
Just
little
a wee
bit.
bit.
However, that is that entire turn for the ice mephits. That is the extent of what they can do. Kane, you're up next. You see this shard of ice just burst into being in the midair. Another one starts winging towards you. What would you like to do?
Alright, first of all, movement. And he is targeting his blue mephit with his longbow, because 150-foot range.
Okay, let's have that shot.
Alright. If I can find my longbow. There we go.
That'll hit.
Alright, and
Okay.
reposition Alsana.
Okay, Alsana, you can now take half your movement speed as a reaction without provoking any opportunity attacks if you so choose. As the arrow streaking from nowhere to kind of pin through this one's wing of ice distracts the others momentarily. And you hear Kane shout, "Move!" Presumably.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't...
Oh no, that's pretty close to it. It's just like,
But yeah.
get out of there. And then
Alright.
second one, same method.
That unfortunately does not hit. 10 is too low. And the second longbow arrow just crashes against a rock.
Alright. And I believe that'll be all.
Alright, that will be all, and it is the Chimera's turn.
Did Alsana
Chimera,
move upwards as well, or just straight out?
well, it's up to her. She's got 15 feet out. She can go 15 feet up if she chooses.
No,
That would put you
got a
fur-
speed of 50.
Okay, so 25. Fair enough. Alright. However, this is more than fast enough to catch up as it so chooses. And so, yeah. Yep. Let's see. Choices, because... Yeah, it can't quite reach anybody there. Alsana is an obvious target.
Just do it.
Yep. It's gonna fly up towards you, Alsana, with 3 heads, a tail, claws, horns. It is a mess of various animal body parts, basically. You see smoke trailing from the mouth of its dragon head, but it doesn't seem to be inhaling in order to blast anything out at you. Instead, it's going to strike out with the horns of the goat. 26 to hit, 8 bludgeoning. And its lion head is going to try to give a bite. 17?
Yep.
9 piercing. And then you see the 2 front claws lash out towards you. 19 to hit, 13 slashing.
Yeah, she's hurting.
Yep. That is the Chimera's turn. Calda, you're seeing this happen up the hill.
Calda's trying to use it. Calda's fucking running. Let's smash. Why is she so slow?
Got the short little legs.
Yep.
She has tiny little legs.
You have
But
tiny
she's
little
gonna
legs. And you are
gonna go up.
slogging through snow and across a frozen stream and up a hill. But you are doing it.
She's gonna
moving.
dash. She's gonna dash because the fucking paladin's on a healing word.
Yep. Okay. So you have used your action to dash. Is there a bonus action you can or would like to use?
No, because I'm saving. Yeah, actually. Just in case, let's just get magic weapon up on the greatsword.
Alright. Greatsword is now magical. Elaris, it's your turn.
Alaris has a 400-foot range with a heavy crossbow and
Jesus.
sharpshooter.
You can
So
hit
you-
anything here.
Taking hot shots at the Chimera. Because I
Alright.
think it's like the best course of action for him personally. And he's gonna add sharpshooter onto the shots anyway, so that's plus 15 damage, minus 5 to hit. So
It's plus
plus
10
10.
damage, minus
plus
5.
10 damage. Yeah, no, and then
Alright.
the 5 from just
Okay.
regular to hit.
Give me your rolls. Have you already subtracted 5, or do we do this manually as you click?
I've already said I have like a
You
attack
have
that has sharpshooter on it, so yeah.
go for it. That unfortunately does not hit. That
That, on the
does.
other hand.
That does. Critical hit.
Can I branding smite that?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you-
may.
Yeah, no, you have to call Branding Smite before you attack.
Oh,
It's
wait,
a
is
spell,
branding?
not an actual spell.
Ah, yes, that's true. I was
Spell,
thinking of a
not actual.
paladin. I'm sorry.
That's not a okay.
Yes.
Then, that's fine.
Still
All right.
impressive.
Yeah, still impressive.
Very good. It's
Very
because
good.
24 plus 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is 32 points of damage, unless I'm calculating wrong.
Oh, you're good.
Nope, I'm
In that
32.
case,
Okay.
Give me a second here. Yeah. He's gonna run 30 feet and then cast Misty Step to go another 30 with the
Okay.
bonus action.
Yes,
So
you
he's gonna
may.
go 30 feet here, and then he's just gonna get closer, so he doesn't really have to. Yeah, but he's still gonna start taking push. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, somewhere about that level.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, he's gonna Misty Step forward, just.
All right. Alsana, out of nowhere came a crossbow bolt. It sank very solidly into the base of one of these creatures. One of these necks, basically. It rears back shrieking, but it's still hale and hearty. But it was hurt by that.
She kind of pulls up like an arm with like blood going down it, like goes in the pocket, pulls out some dust and flicks it, and is like, alright, full force then. So. Going to.
Moonbeam, all right. Let's have that 5-foot radius cylinder. I'm guessing it's centered on the Chimera, or is it somewhere else?
Not quite.
Okay. 5-foot
Okay.
radius, 10-foot diameter.
Alt for ellipses.
Yeah.
There to there.
Okay. Yep. All right, so we've got a couple of mephits and the chimera in there.
Yep, and she's
So-
dropping 3 harvest scythe on it as well.
All right. Constitution saving throw. What is your save DC?
Save DC is I forget. Should have it. Save
I wanna
DC
say
is
it's
15.
Okay. So the ice mephits, going top to bottom. Top one is hit. The bottom is also hit. They do not withstand this.
That's 40 radiant.
Yep. They cannot survive that. Just in an instant, you do the moonbeam, and this sudden crash of ice shattering in midair. Interesting thing, a creature within 5 feet. The ice mephit that was next to its fellow gets to do a dexterity. Nope, it actually takes some of those shards of ice in it. They don't do cold damage. They do that.
Hmm.
So that actually would take the 2 points of slashing damage from that.
As
Not
well,
a lot.
Sana killed a thing and dropped 3 points, so she heals 6 HP.
Yep, she killed a couple things. Now I need to do the Chimera's save. It's a Constitution 13. It takes
Full
that.
40.
Yep.
Is it 6 HP per?
It's
Nope,
like,
2 HP per dice used.
yep.
No,
and she
per enemy though you killed. 'Cause you killed
No,
two.
it's when I kill 1 or more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as you think. In an instant, this moonbeam shreds into the Chimera. It's still up there, but it's shrieking, squawking, it's flapping and keeping itself in place. That is its turn. Yeah, it's not its turn. It
Yep,
can't do
it's
much.
My turn.
Yeah.
She is going to sigh, hope for the best, and fly 50 feet this way,
Fuck.
taking the opportunity most likely.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna go ahead and take that opportunity attack.
Wait, real quick,
Um,
double check that.
Hmm?
Distance. Yep, right there.
Okay, lashes out with a bite attack. That's a 19 to hit, 10 piercing damage.
10 piercing damage. She is barely up, but she wouldn't have been if I didn't heal.
Okay,
And concentration.
Oh, good point.
you do need to see if Moonbeam stays. Yep, you're good. 18 does keep concentration, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy.
Oh fuck! I don't have darkness on my sheet.
Well, right, there is something going on there. One little mephit is not going to be able to catch up with you, but it's going to dash to do so. It can't do anything else with its action, however, but it's trying to go for you. Another one is going to... yeah, if it dashes, it can get up to Calda. It's not going to be very clever about this, I'm afraid. They're just trying to close distance at this... Oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot one thing about this map. At the start of the round, I need to do a d20, and oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, how many things have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm counting 11 things. So kind of in that right, left. Random. Back to 1, 2, 3, 4,
1d11.
5, 6, 7. Calda. Calda.
Oh no.
It's a random creature. It's a random creature effect. Calda, suddenly there's this strange crackle in the air. It doesn't seem to originate from any of these creatures. And all of a sudden, darkness descends. You can't see a thing.
Ah,
Oh fuck.
lovely.
Yeah, and something has just rushed up to you, though it does not seem to be swinging or attacking.
Wait, what?
Calda is now blind.
No
Oh,
save or
fuck.
anything?
Nope.
Alright.
Oh, wait. There might be. Hold on. I'm sorry, I made this more than a week ago. Actually, it is a Constitution saving throw. I'm sorry. Please make
Okay.
it.
That makes more
Okay.
sense.
I was
Yes,
gonna say
some
we're
of
just
these,
throwing effects
Look,
at people now.
some of these are
Yeah, we're
automatic.
just gonna
I'm
blind
sorry,
people. Fuck you.
guys. Calm down.
Yep, no problem.
Some
It's
of
okay.
them are automatic regardless. That one was not. So yes, you actually save against it. You see the, for the sake of this, you see the light dimming, but you steel yourself, shake your head, and shake it off, and something is screwy about this area, perhaps. However, everything just about is dashing to get to you guys at this point, except for a couple that are actually close enough to do something. Let's see if that gets there. Yep, one of them comes up to about there. Kane and Ilaris. I need a dexterity saving throw. It is a low DC. These things are not powerful.
Fuck, here we go. Okay. Fuck, alright.
Alright, Ilaris, you take the full 8 cold damage. Kane, you take 4. As the other ice mephit here swings around, and it is Ilaris and Calda who need to do the dexterity saving throw, as this one also makes the attempt.
Shit. Alright.
I'm gonna put a little token on these. They have used their ice breath, frost breath. Yep, you each take half that, which is 2 points of cold damage.
Okay. Fine. Magic weapon still up as well.
All right. Excellent. That is the ice mephit's turn. Kane, it is yours.
Okay. Put a slight damper on things. Da. Yeah, I'm gonna step out and take an opportunity attack.
All right. So you step away. It swings at you with its claws. That's a 7 to hit, so it misses.
Yeah. Alright. Gonna make a longbow attack on. Gonna go with the mephit in front of Alsana.
Sure.
Damn it.
That will miss, unfortunately. 9 does not hit them.
Alright, second one in front of Alsana.
18 does hit. 5 piercing damage. It hits it solidly in the middle of the chest, but it has not died yet. It's still flapping and shrieking and flexing its claws and trying to rake them towards Alsana.
Okay. Action surge.
Okay.
Same one.
Alright, 4 points of damage. It is still just barely up.
Kane, do you
Okay.
remember
Sorry,
what
I was
those things do?
Yep. I was just gonna push that one real quick if I could. Is that okay?
Alright, yeah, you can go ahead and do your
Yep, just wanted to make sure it was before
Push.
it was announced, sorry.
15 strength
Push
saving throw. They are not good at those. Alright, it is,
Push.
yep, an additional 1 point of damage, and it goes back 15 feet. Do you want it a full 15 or less?
Full 15.
Alright, it flies back in
And
the air. It's still
fun-
alive.
Alright, and final longbow attack on the Chimera.
Okay,
And I'm going to attempt to frighten it.
that will hit. 6 piercing, 8 more damage with Frighten. Superiority die. DC 15 Wisdom saving throw. Let me go ahead and get you that. No, it is frightened. It's been burned by moonlight out of nowhere. It's been riddled with longbow shots and a crossbow bolt that was very painful. Yeah, it's kind of shrieking and turning and twisting in midair.
Okay, that'll be all.
Alright, it is the Chimera's turn. I believe it takes some more moonbeam damage at the start of its turn with a con save, yes?
Indeed it does.
Thank you. That fails the save, 10 radiant damage. It's looking real rough, but still alive. Let's see, what choices would it make? Let's go ahead and give it a wisdom check
It
to
cannot
see.
willingly move closer, just to be sure.
Alright, in that case, what it's going to do is the only thing left to it, given Frighten, it's going to turn around and it's going to start to fly away. at full speed, so it's technically off the map at this point, screaming and crying and shrieking to itself. So for the sake of this, I've put it at the top of the map. It is in actuality, let's see, that's 95 feet. It's got a max speed at a dash of 120, so it's 25 feet off the edge of the map currently. Factor that into any calculation you would make. Calda.
Calda's going to use her movement, stubby little legs, get up to Alsana. How high up is Alsana?
Probably still 10, 15.
Yeah, there's a Mephit that does attempt to claw attack you. That's a 19 to hit.
That hits, that's fine.
Yep.
Magic weapon's still there.
Okay.
Calda's gonna wait until Alsana gets down a little bit just for lay on hands.
All right. Holding lay on hands, beckoning for Alsana to come down. Ilaris.
Can I
the-
still hit it? Is it still within reach?
Okay. Mostly, yes.
Of
I will
400
say that it is within 400 feet. I'll say that technically this hill, there is a bit of a rise and fall of ground. It is a bit up, but you might need to reposition at least over to this side a bit in order to really get a good angle on it.
To where?
Just over to the left somewhere.
If it's
You
not
might-
full cover, though,
Okay,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter because he's sharpshooter.
It's a solid wall
Okay,
of
just making sure.
snow and earth, basically. It's a hill.
So yeah, I'll move the whatever to get the
Yeah.
to get a good
Yeah.
shot, to get a good eye at it, and I'll take 2 shots at it at the the chimera that's currently.
Give me your rolls. That'll hit, and that's enough. That first shot pings it right in the right into the
Awesome.
chest, and it tumbles out of the sky. The second one misses, of course, because you were expecting it to still be up in the sky. It lingered just enough before it dropped that you pulled the trigger, and
Awesome.
then you saw it go down. So yeah,
Oh shit! Okay,
it
I
is in
I
the
killed the
snow.
chimera, guys.
Noted.
Alright.
That's some like sniper shit. It's like, oh my god.
All right.
I
Alsana.
don't think Alaris has ever hit a shot that far before, so that's awesome.
As her
Hey,
action,
You've done pot shots on blights before, but yes.
she's going to move the moonbeam down to there.
All right. 2 ice Mephits. Give me your roll, please.
Where's the repeat on that? 3rd level.
20 points of radiant damage. First one makes it. Second one does not. So this one takes 10 radiant. This other one will take the full 20 and is still up.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's going to float down to Galda's range.
All right. Calda, give her
25
your
hit
roll.
points. Take 25 hit points.
She kind of like feels all the winds like, you don't need to use that much.
Yes, I do.
It's almost over anyways.
Still need to be alive. I'm sorry, I think your arm's bleeding too much.
He'll be fine. She's going to real quick bonus action healing word.
All right. Is that on yourself or somebody else?
On himself.
Okay. I think you're the only one who... Well, a couple others got frost breath. All right. Top of the round. Nothing. And then the ice Mephits have their turn. Let's go ahead and do a d6 to see if the ones that expended frost breath recharge it. They do not.
They start their turn as well.
Yes, those 2 do. Go ahead and roll me that damage. Okay. 15. Let's see if they make it. No. They are both gone, and they both burst into shards of ice. So that's one of the summoned ones, and that's one that did not summon anything. Alright, as for the others, this one has not used its frost breath. It's going to come up close. Alsana and Calda are in range of the frost breath. 15-foot cone. Give me dexterity saving throws, the 2 of you, please. Alright, 19. You take 3 points of damage. Alsana takes the full Nope, you succeed on a 10. You take 3 points of damage. And yes, magic weapon is still up.
Yep.
This one also has not used its frost breath. It has to get actually up to Kane in order to target Kane and Ilaris both, but it's going to do the same. Kane, Ilaris, DC 10, dexterity saving throw, please. Yeah. It's either 2 points or 1. You guys will be fine. Ilaris, you take 2. Kane, you take 10.
I like how we're dex saving against cold air.
10?
Hey, you're trying to dodge what is basically a front of shards of
Okay.
ice.
Fair enough.
Yes, Ilaris, 2 points of cold damage is not much. The remaining 2 methods here dart forward, both within range of you guys, to make claw attacks. This first one is on Ilaris. 22 to hit, 2 slashing, 3 cold. The
Or
second
that'll hit.
is on Kane. 8 does not hit. Alright. Everybody here has used their frost breath that is marked. Kane, you're up.
Alright. Kane is going to bonus action switch to the glaive. Take a step back, take his opportunity attacks.
Okay. Yep. That's 2 attacks. So that's a 1, a 20 to hit, and a 7 to hit.
Yep.
The
Second
20
one will
is
hit.
4 points of damage total.
Alright. Northernmost of the 2 next to him.
Okay. Purple. You can go by colors.
Oh,
That
lovely.
miss has a natural 1. The glaive sticks into the snow and seems to hit actually frozen earth hard enough that you have to wrench it out. Takes you just half a moment. You can still do your second attack.
That's a bit better.
That is much better. 26 definitely hits. 13 slashing damage. All right.
And from there... no point moving. That'll be it.
All right. The Chimera is dead, so there's no turn for that. Calda, you're up.
Okay.
Wait, right.
Kalda's going to just run over first to the method right in front of Alsana. Try 1 greatsword attack first, +1 to hit and +1 to damage for this. So that's 12 to hit.
That hits, and that is enough to take it down.
Okay, so I've gone 10 feet. I have another 15. That was the wrong thing I clicked. Try and check where I'm going.
Yeah, not quite.
Not quite. She's gonna run over there anyway.
Okay.
Can she drop the greatsword and take out the glaive for the second attack, or would that not be enough
I
for action
believe
economy?
so, because you got a
It's
free
bonus
action to drop it and bonus action to draw. So,
Okay. Yeah, drop the greatsword for a mo and take a hit with the blade. 17
Alright.
to hit and 7 damage, because that one's normal.
it's barely up.
Alright.
That blue one got killed, so the purple one's gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that is very true. Thank you for reminding me of that. That one did burst just as you tried to get to it with the glaive. You can take back that bonus action if you have any other use for it. You still have your great sword in hand, potentially.
I don't have any other use, but it's better to have the greatsword in hand. That's your turn.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for that reminder. I did forget about that. All right. Ilaris, you're up.
Okay, so the first one, he's gonna, for the one that's within 5 feet, he's gonna use the crossbow expert so he doesn't have to do it as a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just hit him with the.
real quick, if they don't explode if you kill the one that summoned them, right?
It doesn't say either way. I'm gonna say that you did see the summoned one go kaboom at the same time.
Yeah.
So, for natural 1 does not hit, and a
Fuck.
5 does not hit.
Fuck.
Nat 1, Nat 2. Despite being an expert with crossbow use, you're having a difficult
Yeah.
time in these conditions.
Yeah, they're a bit skittish.
Yep.
So, having a bit trouble.
Anything else on your turn?
No, not really.
Okay. Alsana.
So looks over, goes, well, he's clearly okay with taking a shard of ice in the face, and is going to move this to.
I was gonna say shard of glass. You plan to take him out.
So, give me the repeat damage, please.
Scrolling.
Boom. Boom.
3.
All right.
The methods would
Con
explode.
and oh yeah, the that one saves, so that one does not. So 18 damage here on the one in front of Ilaris. The one further back, maybe it's just enough outside the moonbeam that it manages to steel itself against the effects better. Still takes some. All right, 9 points there. Anything
both
else?
up?
They're both up.
Yep.
Shit. Alright.
She'll stay where she is. Maybe kind of slowly start to float off to the north.
Okay. It's top of the round. We've got another one of these. Nope. Okay, 4. And then it is the Ice Mephit's turns, and they get to take a repeat Moonbeam. Which just tells me that I can throw much more difficult fights at you guys in the future. You'd think I'd have learned, but no. Alright.
I mean, you very nearly took out an Alsana on one round this time.
Yeah, Elaris, give me a DC 10 dexterity saving throw as this one
Okay.
goes
Death burst.
Yep.
Burst! Alright.
The other one, however, only took 6 damage. Still up.
Goes the meth.
Yep. You are fine. You take half damage, so you only take 1 point.
A cool scar now.
Alright.
Sure.
Alright. So this Ice Mephit is going to... It's gonna kind of do a thing. It's gonna...
Run.
for the closest enemy, and it's actually gonna kind of circle around and go between the two of you. Let's see if it gets its Frost Breath back, actually. No, it does not. So it's only got a claw. It's going to go ahead and take a swipe at... Let's take a swipe at Kane. 17 to hit.
Ah, that hit.
3 slashing, 1 cold. That is its turn. You're up next.
Just looks at the thing.
Baby.
I'm just gonna look at the thing and be like, sorry,
You just
Laris.
made the biggest mistake of your life.
Does 11 hit?
11 hits.
Okay.
And 6 is just enough. Kane,
What's
Ilaris,
Wow.
1d10 dexterity saving throw, please, as this thing
Massive
shatters.
point. Oh my god.
5 slashing damage to Kane, and half, just 2 points of slashing damage to Ilaris.
It just spits out some ice. Alright. Everyone else
Goodness.
alright?
Yeah, I managed to hit that Chimera and kill it.
Gotta hit everything else too after that. Don't get caught up in the one shot. Kane's gonna.
Listen, man.
That's it for combat, right?
Yep, that is it.
Yep.
Kane's gonna
Final
go
settles.
picking up his arrows off the ground.
Right.
Alright.
Okay. Let's go look for that Chimera because it's dead.
Can I roll a d6 to see how many of them I find? I shot 6. I know you don't
Go
care, but
Go ahead. By all means, you can do it.
Okay.
Let me just go ahead and find a little bit of music.
I know you don't care, but I'm
Float
just tracking
No,
arrows.
no, it's fine. All right. As you guys start to settle and figure out what might be left of things, the Mephits shattered into shards of ordinary ice and snow and settled on the ground, or scattered across it, really. The Chimera, however, did leave a body, apparently, as Alsana seems to have gone over to check it out. However, for the rest of you in
Yeah.
this... the rest of you in the circle, let's see, there's 3 of you. D3. 2. Kane, you don't really notice anything. Give me a roll of 1d4, please.
Go fuck.
Okay. Elaris, Calda, you would see it first because you're closest. Alsana, you've turned your
Right.
back on the other way. Kane's skin and hair has turned blue.
Awesome.
Uh-oh. Maybe
What
we
kind
should
of
get...
blue we talking here?
Mm.
Ninja blue?
You know what? It could be so many blues. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see here.
Is the skin and hair a different tone of blue?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's just say it's varying shades of blue. He's just blue all over.
Awesome.
Maybe
You're Looking a little blue there, King.
Maybe we should get out of the circle. I think there's some weird stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Alaris, don't worry about me. I'm feeling pretty peachy right now.
No, King, look
in a
at your
literal
arm.
sense, you look really blue.
Is my arm blue?
Yeah, you look down, your arm is blue.
Huh.
Your clothes are normal, but every part of you is blue.
Yeah, pull out that mirror and take a look at.
Actually, people actually pull it out and look at the hair. It's a nice color, at least.
Alsana's gonna have a field
It's
day with
darker
this.
blue. It's a darker blue than your skin.
Okay, it's not bad. Yeah, saves me the cost to die.
What Alsana is going to
Alsana's
do,
going to.
she's gonna float over to the Chimera, land beside it.
All right.
Do a little rune on the lion forehead.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Can understand if you don't. It's not intelligent enough to speak. It's got a mouth. No, got 3 mouths.
Chimera's got 3, so
Yeah.
If you cut off each head, can you do a speak with dead on each head?
Nope. It's one
No.
creature.
Okay.
All right. So you've done your spell. Blow some smoke towards its mouths. It seems to eddy somewhat confused in the air before it splits into 3 streams and flows into all 3 animal mouths between the teeth. Calder, you're catching up just in time to see this.
Also of note, Alsana is the one who can understand it, but if it's not speaking common, then she'd be the only one.
Yep.
She'll just look over. It's like, so what exactly were you digging for there?
Let's see. It is not intelligent. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem I'm having potentially is that the sheet specifically says it cannot speak. Well, we've allowed it before with the unicorn, so. What exactly were you digging for, you ask?
Yes.
Dead, deep breath. Magic. And Calder, this is not in a language that you know unless you understand Draconic, because the dragon's mouth opens and lets this out.
Nope.
All right.
I gotta stop some things for a second.
Hmm.
Is it any sort of specific magic, or is it just the vague feeling of it?
Feeling. Power. Want. As each of the 3 heads takes its turn to speak one word. There's your second question.
What kind of journey did you take to find this place?
Flight.
Alright, it's being difficult. And she kind of just gives a brief summary of it to Calda. And just anything else you can think of?
Well, I don't know, but Magic's probably right. Your brother just turned blue.
The what?
You'll see it, don't worry.
I'm not gonna look at it because I need to finish this first, but oh my goodness.
You get the vague feeling of a Smurf waving at you in the distance.
It's creepy. For her even.
Is it?
I was going to ask where it's from.
Maybe ask if it's the land or something sort of hidden in the land.
Good idea. Is it this place itself that's magic, or is it something that's influencing it?
Below the earth. Don't know. Wanted it. believe you have one more question.
She kind of like snaps her fingers and thinks, "Is there any more of your kind within this nearby area?"
My territory. No intruders, invaders. Mine.
As long as you're happy with that, kind of like runs a hand through the mane. You can go to rest now.
And the lungs not really moving despite the occasional seeming of taking breath, just slowly contract again. And the smoke streams out of 3 sets of nostrils. And it's still.
She slightly like keeps an extra eye on the dragon mouth and the smoke coming out of it.
Mhm.
Then relaxes.
It's pretty cute when it's trying not to kill us.
I was hoping maybe there's a small one around here.
We can check the middle, get a closer look. Hopefully none of us will turn blue.
I think it was searching for something there as well.
Should we go check it out? I felt some weird stuff trying to take me. I felt myself going blind at a point, but I'm not. There's nothing dangerous. Let's go check it out.
Well, I'm not touching the ground. She hops on the broom.
Can I get a ride?
Fine.
Colin's gonna shimmy on.
Also,
Okay.
I might have use for that body later, but we can also bury it nearby. She's going to keep a good 20 feet above the air.
Okay.
Slowly make her way back over to the middle.
All right. With Calder along, of course, Laris and Kane, you can see just past the border of the stream, watching and waiting. Kane is indeed blue, if you care to look that direction.
She looks and puts a hand in her mouth and I can't look at it. I need to do the broom. I can't. I'm gonna fall over if I look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Keep together. Keep
Maybe-
together.
Maybe just let me down so I can just hop off. I can heal myself if something happens.
Yeah.
And I can remove it from you if it's a bit more sticky, let's say.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Of note, as you lower the broom and turn to let Calda hop down, you don't see her. You still feel her, but you don't see her.
Can you look at your hands for a second? What'd you do?
Calda looks at hands.
You can't see your hands.
I think I lost my hand.
No, you've lost your everything else.
Oh, I'm invisible. Okay. You can probably dig while still invisible.
Or maybe a ghost. Who knows? I'd hear you either way.
That's appreciated. At least I'll have someone to talk to. Can you ask Kane to get his shovel that we used? Bury the nice gnome lady.
Blueberry, bring the shovel.
I told you she was gonna have a field day with this.
Oh, I don't blame her. I
A
do the same
blueberry
thing.
field, in fact.
Terrible. Lyrie, don't ask me to step back in that circle, sure. He will.
She's still floating in the middle, not looking, trying her best not to, and keeping it together.
He will spear throw the shovel as far as he can
Okay.
towards her.
All right.
What's the range on a spear?
That's an improvised weapon at best,
be
which means
2060.
you've got a 2060. If you're trying to get, I'll say,
I'm not trying to hit anything. Just getting close to her.
yeah, you can get it there. Actually, go ahead and give me an attack roll just to see, because if you roll low, it might not get so far. Basically,
Are you
strength plus your.
proficient with improvised weapons? I don't remember.
I don't think so. You're proficient with your fists, which count otherwise as improvised weapons.
Maybe
You're
raw
not
strength,
proficient. Yeah, raw strength check. All right, you huff it. You heck it as far as you can.
Yeah,
Heck it.
I
Fuck, I
got
heck it.
different words.
You
Yeah.
frick it across the field.
There
How can I-
was a
how can I
vowel
heck?
sound. Yeah, I am so sorry.
You put some real darn into your
You
throat.
smell what the worst.
I'm sorry, Ariel. We gotta
I'll
race
let you
you if we
guys
can.
I'll let you get this out of your system.
I'm done.
I cannot speak vowel sounds right now, but you get it about there. So Alsana, it's a broom flight and a little bit over and then back again.
Yeah.
If you dash it, you'd pretty much get there and back, but
Yep.
it might take an action or so to pick it up. So I don't know.
And she'll just tap herself with guidance just in case.
Okay.
Oh god, what is it now?
Alsana, give me a quick dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
Mhm.
12.
All right. Suddenly, just around you, just as you're getting down to pick up the shovel, there's this sudden burst of brightly colored light surrounding you, all around, and kind of laying, glittering across various items. When you blink your eyes clear, and you look, the shovel is glimmering purple, as is the rest of you.
I know the spell.
Yep, you do. You've been fairy fired by nothing, it seems.
She stops and looks around.
Hey, we match.
Oh, look, we got a blueberry and a grape.
Actually, she's fairy fired herself before.
Oh my goodness.
She's a wine grape.
She just kind of looks around. Are there small invisible things floating around us right now? She kind of says out loud.
Give a listen. No response.
Nothing's fighting us. Fly over here so I can kill him quicker.
She just kind of like looks back and forth and floats over and drops the shovel down.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's still
Called
got
it.
the magic going on her.
Calda is still invisible. You are still fairy fired.
Floating
She kind
shovel.
of like looks and it's like, oh, this solves itself, and she floats down and just like rubs a hand across Calda.
You're not quite sure where Calda is, but she does have the shovel, so you kind of give your best guess and maybe poke her a few places first. But you're rubbing your hand across her, and the fairy fire doesn't seem to spread.
So there is one small invisible thing flying around.
Well, at least the shovel's fairy fired too, right?
Yeah.
All right, we know where she is.
Yep. You've got a very, very visible shovel in the hands of a very, very invisible halfling right now. And Calda, I'm guessing you get to work in this center patch right between all of these mushrooms.
Yep.
It's the diggerless grave digger.
Go ahead and give me a strength check just to see call it athletics. Just to see what speed you go at.
She would have tapped with the.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
30.
with like two enormous shovelfuls. You clear out a great deal of what the Chimera had just
visibility.
had just been scratching at before. It seems to have loosened up some of the dirt, but you cut through this ice-hardened loam like it's made of butter. And on the third, into the snow and rock and dirt, you hear this clunk and feel the impact.
Careful, don't hit too hard.
You get down there, you scrape some of the dirt away, and you find what seems to be a small box of some sort.
Osana
Some
floats
dark
down,
material.
like, right beside.
Talda gets the box.
Is that a box? Is that a magical box?
Yeah. Magical box.
Doesn't really matter, but both of you dexterity saving throw.
Doesn't really matter. It's usually not followed by that sentence.
Yep, Alsana, it's another burst. Yep, Calda as well. Another burst of light. This time in green, and a new coating of fairy fire. This time, Calda is still technically invisible. You can just see this shifting form outlined in fairy fire.
Huh,
Alsana, you're a strange swirling mix of green and purple right now.
Do I look spooky?
Yes.
You
Shovel
always
really
look
adds
spooky.
to it.
I think so too. Okay, should I open this or should we get out of here?
Let's, I'm wondering if the magic's coming from it, so us getting out wouldn't be too. Let's at least get out of the hole.
Yeah.
Calda, you're trying to lift it out of the hole? It's a small box. It's long and it's fairly narrow.
Tap her again.
But go ahead and do a quick little athletics check. Yes, you have guidance, so that D4. As, yep, 22 plus a D4, 23. It's not really trouble with that kind of roll, but you get your fingers under it, and at first you expect it to be much lighter than it is. It gives you a bit of a jolt and a start as you go to lift it easily and then realize, oh, this is heavy. And you have to actually strain your muscles just a little bit in order to lift it up. It's not an enormous weight for its size, but it is weighty enough that it's the thought might pass in your mind that this might not be a box of just like steel or even iron.
Nelsana is like bouncing up and down on the broom excitedly.
Yep.
Calda just has like a big smile looking at Asana.
Yep.
Well, let's wipe down the room.
I actually let the player check that.
I changed the broom rules from a weight of pounds to a number of creatures just for ease of everything. I will say that it might slow the broom somewhat. It
but
might
it
not
can
do...
lift upwards at least like 10 feet.
Yeah.
Alright. Yep, they have time, so she'll just kind of slowly float it up.
Okay.
Alright, let's float this. Also, when we were looking at the box, did it have any latches on it, or was it just...
As you take a closer look at the box, you see, well, first of all, you see a few carved inscriptions almost, it seems. Not really phrases or words in any language that you would know. More like individual shapes, like runes. There seems to be maybe 3 of them across the lid of the box. At some point, something seems to have damaged the box, however. It's heavily cracked and directly through the rightmost rune. And so there's a little bit of a gap that you can see as you brush dirt and ice away from it.
Also, like squeezes
And
in
you can-
between Calda and the box and is like looking at it intently.
Yep, and there does seem to be a thin seam around the sides of the box and a couple of hidden hinges. You kind of pry around for a latch. You can see this very faint glimmer of what seems to be something metallic within. Alsana, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Guidance.
All right.
Arcana. 19.
All right, 19 plus
20.
plus 1, 20. All right. These runes, you've seen similar things in studies of magic. They don't necessarily, they're ways of binding magic to things, usually. However, these seem archaic compared to the ones that you've studied the most often, the modern ones.
They seem old or they seem rough?
They seem old. In terms of archaic, like basically magic, like pretty much any form of like technology or development does go through series of upgrades of sorts, improvements, streamlining the process. These are they're rough in the sense that they have not benefited, it seems, from some improvements that you're aware of.
It's like finding something with like a really old-timey looking lock on it.
Yeah, a little bit, yes. You're aware that, yeah, locks have gotten much better, but it probably did the trick. It's just maybe a little easy to pick, perhaps. As for their meanings, the first one, you study it for a little bit, I'd say with a 20, and you get the sense of something that means multitude, or tangle, or chaos, perhaps, at the deepest sense. The second one is fairly a little bit more familiar because it's often used, or elements of it at least, are often used to describe in this runic symbol, not quite language, magic itself, or at the very least power, usually by magic. The third one, cracked through, is harder to make out because of the cracking. You see elements of it that are remaining that might be used in a rune that maybe binds or maybe holds or contains, but you're not quite sure if it's one of those or if it's a variant built off of some of those elements that could mean any number of other things.
Alright. Just kind of like runs her fingers across the runes. Well, considering the lack of, I'm assuming, a binding agent of any kind, we're left with magic and chaos, and, well, I think that's why she holds up her flaming hand.
Yep, and just as you run your fingers across say this and hold up a flaming hand, there's this sudden, it's almost like static electricity across your skin, and this new burst of magic seems to flare from, yes, within the box itself, and all of a sudden, there's this swarming, writhing cloud of orange butterflies centered on you, Alsana. And it makes it very, very difficult to see anything, and you're spluttering and shaking them out of your hair.
She stops for a sec, breathes in, and is going to, first level, speak with animals.
Okay.
Gentlemen, I have some honey in my bag, and I'm happy to share if you proceed to get out of my face.
No response.
Do you speak butterfly?
I speak any animal I want, but I think these are more magical in nature. She kind of
Impressive.
like waves her hand out in front.
Yep, you bat a few butterflies out of the way, but they almost seem to close in the cloud again. Calder, you're actually within this swarm as well. Kane and Ilaris, you see this sudden sphere of just flapping orange butterfly wings envelop the two ladies in the center of the circle.
Can Asana take a step 10 feet to the right, see if it follows her?
Yep. You do, and you don't really notice any change in butterflies. You're not sure if it's because they're just that dense and that big of a swarm, or if it is following you, but it's possible.
Alright, this won't do, but we are taking a bit of a breather after this.
Lyrie,
Snaps her fingers.
think they mistook her for an actual grape or a flower or something.
Okay, you dispel the butterflies, I take it?
Yep.
Alright, butterflies, poof, they're gone.
Facsimiles of life. Never been a huge fan. Alright. Secondly, let's get you open. She attempts to open the chest.
Alright,
With tap of guides.
yep. I'll say that this is probably another athletics check, mostly because it is such a heavy material and you're kind of trying to get fingers into the gap and pry it open.
Can she do sleight of hand with actually? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Sleight of hand?
this is not delicate work. You like pry for some sort of hidden catch or the like, you don't find anything. This is just seems to be a hinge open, hinge shut affair. Athletics 5 and, well, 7 total. Your fingers kind of slip on the outside of the box, so you're not quite able to get a good grip. Calder, you are being called upon to open a box.
You open this magical jar of pickles.
Called upon.
Good call on that. Thank you.
Good call.
Yep, good call on that. Ty, if you were there, I'm not sure.
Maybe not.
Were they having computer difficulties earlier?
Possibly, I don't know.
Not that I was aware of, but
I don't know. Maybe they got called away for a brief moment, and now I'm gonna hear called every time.
called away.
Yeah. I can roll a d20 plus 7. It looks like that's called as
Plus 1d4.
athletics. Yep. Because I assume that she would be willing to help.
Test.
There you are. Yes. Would
Wi-Fi
you like?
crashed.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm on data right now, upstairs. Something happened.
Okay.
Lovely.
Would you like me to go ahead? I'll go ahead and roll the athletics check. Alsana asked for help trying to pry the box open.
Yep,
And her
plus
skinny.
7.
Yep, +7 plus 1d4 for guidance.
Yep.
I rolled a natural 1 on the 20. I'm so sorry. You got a 10.
It's okay.
Calder, you okay if I open your sheet and use it for now?
Go for it. Yeah, I don't know when this is gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Still prying at the box. A little bit ineffectual.
Chris, thing.
Yeah.
Alsan is like kind of trying to hold it, but probably not helping.
Absolutely does not want to open.
You guys okay over there?
We're perfectly fine.
Calder, you guys okay over there?
Alsan can sort of look like, don't you dare.
We're fine. We're fine, Blueberry. Calm down.
Just checking.
We gotta get this open, Alsana.
Calder, don't you have a magic greatsword right now?
Last an hour. Calder's gonna use the magic greatsword.
Of note, it's probably been about a minute or so. Calder, you are now visible. A few seconds later, Alsana is no longer purple fairy fired, but the green has lingered.
Am I
The
still
great
blue?
sword. You are still blue.
Damn it.
Yep.
Pepper one more time.
Great sword absolutely works. Oh wait, that was Kane rolling.
That's because I used her sheet.
Oh,
Didn't
okay,
switch
got
off
it.
yet.
Yep. Guidance does not apply to this per se. It's kind of it's
Oh
in
yeah,
your
it's a
choice.
mackerel.
But Calda manages to get the great sword's tip kind of pried in
Yeah, I
where
was
the
gonna say,
box
we're
was
not
cracked.
smashing this thing open, right?
Nope. Gets the tip pried in where the box had been cracked before by something, and just manages to lever the lid open. And there's this horrible out of metal or some
God,
other
Ariel,
material.
your ability to make those sounds impresses me and fucking destroys my eardrums.
I'm not great at many sounds. I am sorry it's those that I apparently am. But yeah, you've got the box open, and within
Alsan's looking.
you see this strange, slender golden wand encrusted with gems, and another small rune inscribed on the wand itself. And looking at it, you think that it's just a tinier version of the one that had been cut through on the box itself. And it seems to be something along the lines of what was said before, but more specifically, perhaps, control.
Yeah, Alsan just kind of like looks at it, looks at Calda, looks at it.
Tell me what it means before you take it.
It's a measure of balance and control.
Do you
Yes,
want
I
it?
think. Of course I want it.
You can do another Arcana check now that you see the item itself.
Current.
Yep.
Arcana. Oh,
Ooh. Let's see the guidance.
15.
15. Yeah, a wand is a wand. This one looks very expensive. Control hints at a number of things, potentially, and if it's the source of that magic, it might hint at more, but you're not quite sure.
You want to know what? I need you to do me a favor.
She glances over and kind of like
I don't want-
slowly slides the box in her direction.
I don't want to ask Kane to have so I can use the tree sword. You can go haywire with this. Can you try and get the tree sword for me?
She kind of
Thorn
like
sword.
raises an eyebrow. Oh, now we're willing to listen to that, are we?
Yeah.
And she kind of gives a glance. What happened to sentimental value?
Sentimental value doesn't hit well enough.
She gives a smile. It's like, well, as long as you're learning.
Yeah, this is better as a mantelpiece. And a box opener.
Yes, well, I'm sure he'll be happy to try the other as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's go and see what those two are up to.
Shall we take the box? We could shove it in Brother's bag.
We could probably sell it.
That as well. I don't. This thing is not very. You know what?
So-
Can Alsana just cast Dispel Magic on the box?
I mean, sure.
An attempt to end the wild magical effects currently emanating from it.
Cast Dispel Magic on the box. Doesn't really seem to do anything.
It's already broken. Maybe it was the one that was doing.
She's gonna turn the wand in her hand. Does she feel like she can do much with it right now?
At the moment, no. It feels like there's a layer of magic that's not really readily available.
I'm getting the distinct impression I'd have to spend at least an hour concentrating on this thing.
We could take a break.
She kind of like rubs like some of the like claw and bite marks on her. I'd appreciate that.
We're going to take a break. Let's go get the boys. It's time to break.
It's the boys.
Potentially
She kind of like
of-
slowly moves the box just kind of back over to not in the hole but like right beside it.
Okay.
Assuming it's emanating from there, if we keep it nearby the middle, we'll at least have a general idea of where the radius of it is.
Yeah, and then we could send Kane to put in his bag.
Seems about 100 feet.
All right.
She'll hop on the broom, offer a ride.
Caldwell will shimmy on again.
Okay. The green fairy fire dissipates as you fly away.
She laughs.
Kane,
like,
you are still
oh,
blue.
yours didn't wear off like ours.
Oh, that's looks good on you.
Yeah, it's a fashion statement. I've looked worse.
I like the hair.
Is the bead blue?
No, his clothes were unchanged. It was skin, hair, eyes, nails, that sort of thing.
Does that include the whites in my eyes?
No.
Oh, okay, so that's creepy as hell if it
What about
does.
teeth?
Oh, do I
I'll
look
say
like
teeth,
do I
no.
look, do I look like the genie from the new Aladdin remake?
You look like
He
a
does!
Somebody of mine? I'll
like blue
say
hair.
different shade of blue.
No, please, come on.
I'm pulling up the picture and you cannot stop me.
Have fun with that. Anyway.
Yes, he is that shade of blueberry blue.
Of
Like
note,
when the
Alsana.
girl has like done the chocolate factory and she
Thank you.
turns into a blueberry. That's what she looks. That's
Alsana, you would know because you do your daily weather report in the morning that you guys are due for some perhaps heavy snowfall today. It is cold again. Not as bad, perhaps not as bitter as it might have been in the deepest part of winter, but cold enough for flakes of snow. And it has been overcast all day. You might want to find some shelter before resting.
She'll just pull out the Druidcraft right now.
Yeah. It's a little hard to gauge time in it because it's a pretty quick little loop, and if nothing changes immediately, you're not quite sure when. But you see little flickers of snow on and off, and then lots of snowflakes, and then more little flickers of snow on and off, and then just clouds.
Right, well, I have one other thing I need to take care of before we start setting up, but if any of you would like to find a nice place under a tree right now, I'd be appreciative. And she floats over to the, Chimera.
All right.
She just kind of looks it over and it's like, oh, a head of a dragon.
Okay, we'll try to set up a tarp to keep the Chimera dry while Asana works with it.
What does Alsana know about pieces of a dragon and magical effects?
Presumably very magical. You can go ahead and do another Arcana check.
Okay. Would this be Arcana or Nature? Same thing.
It's a weird overlap.
Yeah, same
So-
bonus for both for her, so
Yeah.
guidance as usual. Alright, 21.
All right. Fairly magical indeed. You know that very often, if you get enough scales from an actual dragon, especially a larger one, you can craft a suit of scale armor that would resist the effects often of whatever type of dragon that happened to be. So a red dragon might confer resistance to fire and the like.
It is a
You know,
red dragon color, right?
it is a red dragon color, yes. And used from the smoke that you saw from its mouth, though it didn't seem to breathe anything during the very brief fight. You
Says
can guess.
dejectedly.
I made the decision. The Chimera decided that one target was not enough to waste its fire breath attack on.
No problem.
Ooh.
Dragon teeth, dragon horns.
Yeah,
Flame
possibly got
sack
used.
question.
I'll say there's not really a flame sack per se.
Okay.
Not in these dragons.
So it's just kind of magical fire then?
Yeah.
Alright.
We're-
But she does kind of turn over, and she also looks over. Does she know much about Chimera specifically, and if there's any difference between the dragon or lion head of Chimera versus just a regular lion or quote-unquote regular dragon?
Well, there's the fact that they're attached, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a nature check, I believe.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because you were specifically thinking about dragons, and I'll say for the dragons thing, it's the scales that are considered the most valuable, though you'll always be able to find some use of claws and teeth and horns.
All right. 1d4 save me. 14.
Okay, 14 on a chimera. Yeah, kind of the basics. They're horrible monsters.
Does she at least know if they're made, like they're born like that, or are they made?
You know that they're not necessarily, there's legends about some powerful demon looking at creatures of material plane and going, no, it could be better, and mashing them together. You've read enough, legends and tales to be aware of that. Just myth of origin, let's call it.
Okay.
It's not really surely known, however, if that is an actual story that was, passed down and has a kernel of truth from the beginning of times, or if it was more a situation of, that is a really weird thing, there must be an explanation, I'm gonna make one up. Basically that these creatures are kind of driven to accumulate hordes, kind of similar to dragons. That might be, maybe, why it was after the magic here. It tends to guard its territory jealously.
She thinks for a second, snaps her fingers like, this thing had a horde. Damn it, the questions. Regardless.
Yeah. I'd say that's probably about it. Aerial predators with a fire breath attack. Very dangerous. At least to most people.
Lyrie, how's your survival?
If Kane is needed, Kane's is pretty good too.
Okay, what's everyone's survival, I guess, then?
I think we all have the same with like a +3.
Okay, well,
I have a
Or +4, sorry.
+0.
I think Alaris is +3 or +4.
I think all three of you have the same survival.
Yeah, I've got +4, so. Yep. Then she'll just kind of think and go, this thing had a territory, and it's part dragon. Must have had a horde somewhere.
Any idea how to search for it?
I mean, snowed recently. If we want to do any sort of tracking, we'd have to do it now.
Doesn't it fly?
It does, but it doesn't fly all day.
I mean, you fly all day.
She kind of gives a look. Yes, but my wings don't get tired.
So you claim. I'll take a look around, I guess. Make
Yeah,
a
I mean,
survival check for anything.
if you want, you can go ahead and make a survival check in the area.
Alright, Alsana will zoom up 100, 200
sorry.
feet in the air.
That's Kane, not Calder there.
All right, Kane, that's a survival check of 22. Alsana, you're not going to have a survival check up there. It would be perception at the best.
Alright, I'll take it.
However, it would be extremely difficult because you're looking from very far up.
Alright, guidance.
Looking at white across white there.
Perception 22 plus your guidance.
23.
So, 22 survival, 23 perception, as we've got eyes on the ground and eyes on the sky. Kane, you do a wide circle around this circular hill, and you kind of spiral outwards for a while. No tracks except for your own. Your party's coming up to the hill, around the hill.
Alright.
To and from the body of the Chimera, bit further out there. Alsana, you're up there in the sky, you're looking around, you're close enough to actually see Lyrie, a bit further on. It's within the day's travel. Maybe just a few hours there. But beyond that, you see a few bits of scattered wildlife, little stands of trees here and there. More hills and rocks. You see the continuation of the stream in a couple different directions there. Nothing else of note. There are no Chimera tracks.
She kind of sighs, floats down. Nothing. No caves, no hills, no tracks. She kind of thinks, I'm going to want the head of the dragon. Actually, real quick, out of character.
Mhm.
If you were to cut one of its heads off,
Mhm.
would that function as still talking? Would it be functional enough for a speak with dead?
You can only do that once per 10 days
Yes.
on the same creature.
I'm aware.
I'll say if you can stave off decomposition enough that it doesn't
She
lose
doesn't.
its jaw.
Okay, I mean skeleton. She talked to a skeleton before.
Yeah, but that might be a little bit different than carrying a head around in your bag.
She'll look over. Brother, you have a extra large bag, is it?
Yeah, it's sizable.
Enough to fit perhaps a head of a dragon in it?
Alsana, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Probably. I don't want to put that in my bag.
Why not?
It's messy.
I'll wrap it with a cloth.
3 cloths.
She kind of gives a look. Does the inside get dirty or what?
No, but my hands do when I have to pull it out.
I'll pull it out then.
Sure you can
Yikes.
lift it?
Why, you gonna pull it out yourself? Practice smooching for when we return to Soren?
No, I was gonna cuddle it at night. You sure you can lift the head by yourself? Looks pretty big.
Sure.
What the f-
Either way, still want to wrap twice at least. Believe it or not, I value my cleanliness.
She kind of like gives a look up and down, narrows her eyes.
I can't
don't.
help the blue.
Give me a few hours and maybe I can. If it's still around, and, well, I'm feeling nice.
Your choice.
It's your choice if the head goes in the bag or not. So, seems we've reached an impasse. She kind of walks over. Calda,
Yes.
you didn't happen to part-time as a headsman, did you?
No, I'm a part-time adventurer.
Lines are closer than you think, but point taken.
I'm gonna cut the head off. It's the sword's still magic.
If that's still running, then absolutely.
Oh, is magic weapon still up? Lasts an hour.
Yeah, it's still up.
Take a swing.
At this point, I'm using my spells frivolously, so she will fairy fire the
You
head of
don't-
the dragon.
All right, you don't need an attack roll.
Oh,
I'd say that even if it takes a swing or 2 or 3, you get it off. It's not exactly dodging you at this point.
watch the scales. Watch the scales.
Scales are breaking under this. There is no other way about it. However, there are still plenty left across the stump of neck and the head that comes off. You have the dragon head of a chimera.
She kind of like hefts it a bit by the horns.
It is heavy.
You got that?
Perfectly fine. And she puts it down. Actually, she'll kind of like hold it up and just like, be a dear, and grab the tarp from my bag.
The tarp? Alright.
The camping one.
Okay, Kala's gonna rustle through the bag, find the tarp, sort of. Does the sauna want it like underneath so it can.
Yep.
Okay, yep, Kala's gonna lay it out.
Well, if we find ourselves still in the area within 10 days, as well as I do want to take this with me and take the proper time to do a bit of scale collection. Maybe teeth and horns. Would any of you like perhaps a tooth?
Ooh, yes.
I can do it.
The
I can go for a tooth or two.
teeth are nice,
I
yes.
said a tooth, brother. Don't get stingy.
I think you're the one getting stingy here.
Greedy then.
Fair enough.
She did take a beating.
And I did find
Sure.
this place in the beginning. I must say,
Or-
despite the flesh wounds, it was quite beneficial. She kind of like spins the wand in her hand again. I'm gonna need some
What'd you
sort of
find in
folder.
the middle of the circle there?
I'm gonna need some sort of folder for these things. We found this brilliant little piece of. Well, I'm not sure what it does yet, but I'm sure I can find out. As well
Magic?
as. No, it's a very good dowsing rod. Yes, magic.
Yeah, good dowsing rod could be useful.
Kind of like gives a blank look. Anyways, as well, the container it came in, unfortunately had one of its runes broken, and instead of, sorry, what were the 3 runes? It was magic,
Mm-hmm.
like chaos, magic, and balance, basically.
Not balance.
Control?
Control.
Control. Yeah, chaos, balance, and control. And well, the control was cracked, so she kind of like makes a gesture to the circles, and I get the feeling it's about 100 feet range from it. Would you like to put that
Okay.
in your bag as well?
Sure. Can you make me know blue?
When I rest, yes.
Works for me.
I don't think the magic will affect, although your sword does that thing as well.
I'm already blue. What else can it do to me?
If you're going to break a rune to fix it, at least break the leftmost one. It's the middle I'm concerned about, and I want to keep. Chaos can be fun too, but
I personally try to keep it in the middle.
would also
Up
not
a
know if like taking the lid off this thing or anything like that would kind of, is it like, I guess, is it the whole implement or is it the runes on it that are kind of emitting magic?
Arcana check.
Right. Guidance, Arcana.
Kind of trying to probe out the feel of magic and figure it out, or... Alright, 18
22.
plus 4? 22. It's not so much... The box doesn't emit magic, it contains magic. As you realize with this that this box, the weight of it, the dark sheen of the material, is made of lead, and you're aware that lead is basically a magic containment thing. So it being cracked open, for one thing, and especially perhaps through that rune, the box was not emitting the magic. It was letting it free. by
She
accident.
kind of like turns the wand in her hand. Ah.
Wand seems fine so far. You realize it hasn't done anything for quite some time. And it had been slowing down towards the end there.
And
After
she
you
kind of
went.
like turns it in her hand. I'm going to have a time with you. Alright, well, first, she like starts to wrap up the head.
Yep, you get it bundled up in the tarp and secured.
Okay, well, I guess also on that Arcana, instead of the emitting then, would the containing be the whole box, or, like, is the lead a kind of receptacle for the magic going through it?
The lead was step 1 of containment. The runes were a fail-safe and a surety.
Okay. But if she were to, like, say, cut out the area around the runes,
You'd have a lump of lead with a rune on it?
would that be worth anything in her mind?
Probably not.
Alright. In that case, she'll just... well, like, at the very least, just for prosperity's sake, and she'll just make a quick, like a coal rubbing of the runes.
Okay.
And just kind of place it in her notes. And then kind of, Calda, sorry, one more thing.
Yep.
Maybe just aim the sword and just give these a crack.
A crack where?
And she kind of like points to the runes on the box.
Alright, if you say so. Scalda just goes to wreck up the box.
Yeah. It's a heavy material, but
She
it's
just wants to like scrape and slash through the runes, basically.
Alright, you're able to mess up the runes pretty thoroughly.
Now we could keep the lead box itself if you'd like, although it is cracked.
It is cracked through at the lid.
It's not
We could
entirely
sell it for
magical.
we could sell it for material. Go to a blacksmith.
Also, I looked over to Kane.
What's up?
Well, I'm not exactly carrying this thing on my back.
How big is the box?
Not very big. The wand is perhaps, it's less than a foot, 10 inches long maybe. The box has maybe another inch on that, if that. It's more a long, narrow box.
About the
Then
size of a switch.
It's just surprisingly heavy for its size until you realize, oh, this is made of lead. Of course it's heavy.
I mean, if you ask if I can possibly fix it up, I mean, maybe, but I can store it for now.
Or
If
so just the raw materials selling. But if we're going to take it with us either way, I believe your wonderful
Imagine.
little bag.
Imagine good panels of finished lead is worth a good amount at least. Not a fantastic one, but it's good material.
She kind of shrugs like, I try to avoid metal if I can. At least the rougher kinds. There's nicer
Rougher
metals.
kinds.
You know, iron, steel, lead, things like those.
I take it, you have no problems with silver or anything like that?
Gold, platinum, well, they help me get other things.
Fine. I won't complain. He'll take the box and slip it into his bag.
Okay.
So one dragon head and one lead box. Does anyone?
One well-wrapped dragon head.
Also, we have the Skulker corpse in there. What are you talking about?
No, that got removed a while ago.
Oh, okay. Wait, when was it removed?
He just took it out because it was an old corpse.
Okay. And then Alsana will bring up. Why do you have a problem with the head if you still have the piece of Skulker in there?
Because right now we have an option. The sculptors were in a bit of a rush.
She kind of like gives a look, and it's like, but it's still in there.
Oh no, I took it out forever ago.
You what?
What do you mean? Why would I let a rotting corpse just sit in my bag for long?
It doesn't exactly let out smell.
Yeah, but it's not in any kind of good thing. It's not. It's not gonna last. You can't research if it's just goo. You ever seen what happens to a corpse after a month? It's disgusting.
Turns to bones.
Not after a month. That's after about a year.
It gets to that point eventually, and you haven't even left it until that.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'd have goo in my bag. I don't want goo in my bag.
It doesn't leak out.
I don't care.
Alright. Mr. Hotshot, bright blue and squeamish about dead bodies.
No, I've just seen too many diseases to want to keep my bag dirty. Sorry about that.
She kind of like blinks over. Oh, you get sick,
What?
right?
I
Unfortunately, us non-witches do have to worry about that kind of thing. Yeah,
Oh, you could ask me.
I could, or I could just get rid of the corpse.
I meant if you ever get sick. But you know what? Offer rescinded.
Very well. In that case, carry your own head.
Alright, clean your own blue skin then. That was the deal.
Works for me. Currently changing my
oh my
character sheet.
god.
All right, have you dumped the head back out?
Yep.
All right, Alsana, your dragon head is on the ground. And as you're having this conversation, the first light flakes of snow are starting to drift down from the clouds.
Face kind of twitches. Sure as ever, I see.
Say again.
Mature as ever, I see.
Sorry, I've been missing that first word, I think.
Mature.
Mature, okay. Just drugs, it's like... I took back on the deal, you took back on your part. I think we're even, aren't we?
The curing of a disease was never the agreement.
No, but
Blue
I'm,
was.
I'm still blue. Head is still there. We're even.
I let it be known that I can only dispel that magic once I've had a rest.
In that case, you can save the spell. Or you could just say please. Your choice.
Oh, now you're on the high horse, is
For
it?
God's sake.
Was
You're the
there a
one who-
please when you ran out the front door without a second thought?
No, but there was quite the askins to leave, if you recall correctly.
Yes, from a 13-year-old.
Said to an 11-year-old.
Wait. Hold on, out of character. Said to an 11-year-old? She meant you were 13.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yep.
Right, I got it backwards. I thought. Yeah. Just shrugs this. You said leave, I left.
And there was never once a please from it.
That's true.
So why now the sudden manners?
Learned the value of them. You learned magic. I learned what's important.
You got an idea of what you thought was important.
That's what we all do, isn't it? Lars thinks his family's important. You don't.
I didn't decry magic when
Are
I
we
was younger.
dragging me into this? What's happening? What?
Look, all I'm saying, you want to be your tote boy, but manners would be appreciated.
She looks over. I can offer things, you know.
Can
There's
you offer things I want?
implications because we're working together. Implications like, oh, maybe you getting a cut of the hoard. that we come across after we keep the head and I ask it another question in 10 days. There's the implication that I could get rid of your diseases for you if you asked. There's the implication that your sister would have appreciated more of a goodbye. But you seem to miss those often. So I guess you haven't learned much of what's important.
I've learned what's important to me. Wasn't around to ask you.
No, you weren't.
Dang it. Maybe leaving's in the blood.
It's unfortunate you take after father so much.
Not wrong about that. Everyone's been proud of his blood.
And yet here you stand, acting in the same manner. Is your girl gonna be the first one?
Oh my fucking god.
First one of...
Laura says out loud.
Uh-huh.
Are you starting up a streak of your own?
Don't know.
Town to town?
No, I've at least learned where to keep myself.
You say you've learned a lot. I don't see much difference in you.
You sure? I think I'm looking a bit different than I usually do. Look, if all you're gonna do is just insult me and try to make me angry, you're not gonna get it.
Alright, you two, it's starting to snow. We can't stay out here for long.
Go to
Just
10.
keep walking.
Yeah, we should just keep walking and not bicker for hours.
How close would it be from the next town?
I saw it in the air. Did you, out of character, you said about an hour's travel, Ariel?
A few hours.
A few hours. A few hours, maybe. Probably get in before the worst of the snow happens.
I think so. Should we travel in pairs?
I've got no problem with
I
it.
suppose so.
Alsana, may I ride on the broom, please?
You can take the broom.
I don't know how to ride it. Are you gonna
It's
walk?
fairly straightforward. She kind of like hefts the tarp over her shoulder with the dragon head in it.
Alright, well, if you're not taking the broom, we're still gonna do it in pairs. I'll help pull the dragon head.
All
Is
right.
that fair?
She kind of like looks to the side. Fine.
All right. So for the 3 hours, I'll take a simple survival check from 3 people, or 1 person 3 times if you want 1 person continually. Alsana for the first with guidance, survival 13 plus.
15.
Okay. You keep them pretty well on track. Kane, you have your compass out. For the second hour, you take the lead as Alsana's starting to tire from trudging through sometimes deeper snow, hauling this chimera's dragon's head. You know the direction you're heading, and you keep the group unerringly in that way. As that second hour passes and the third approaches, Alaris takes over. By that time, the snow is starting to come down more thickly. He's starting to kind of veer off to the side. I'll say that the lingering effects of the earlier one, Kane, you're able to course correct, but it does add about maybe half an hour's travel on as you went about 15 minutes out of your way before having to loop back around.
Not you. Lars is not used to this much snow.
Yeah, and Alaris is not as widely traveled as some. He's mostly been you've mostly been used to your small area around Walton, a little bit of Sorenwood. During that third hour, the blue actually wears off. And Kane is back to normal. But towards the end of it, as the snow is starting to come down, you finally come upon Lyrie. It's a quiet-looking little town, perhaps an effect of the snowfall in the season, perhaps just the way that the houses cluster together against the golden hills and the fields beyond. You can see a few larger buildings, a place that looks like it might be a tavern or an inn, variety of houses, smoke rising from the chimneys, a few people out, doing last errands, perhaps walking more hunched against the cold for the most part. And pacing alongside the road, just at the entrance of town, as you approach, you see what looks to be a young man. Maybe more a boy. Come a little closer, and for the most part, it's hard to tell his features and so on underneath the cloak that he's wearing, but he's pacing back and forth. Looks human, though his hair is so pale it's nearly white. He has very fair skin tone. There's a little bit of a breeze playing with the snow at his feet as it drifts down and kicking into eddies as he paces. He glances up at you, glances back down, does a little double take as he realizes that one, maybe two of you are hauling in something wrapped in a tarp, and you're just an odd-looking group in general, and he stops pacing. Hello?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Travelers?
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, welcome to Lyrie, I guess. What's that? Points at the tarp.
Oh, how old is this kid again?
Do a quick insight. You're guessing an age. Sometimes it's unclear.
Yeah.
Okay,
17.
17. He's not short. He's over 5 foot, probably over 5'6". But he's kind of got that gangly, stretched out look, and that little bit of baby fat still left in the cheeks that indicates that he might not be too far from adulthood, but he's late teens, perhaps.
Well, we were
It's a
out.
large bag of not your business.
Oh.
We were out hunting. She's
Ah.
snappy. It's been a while. We've been out there a while. We're all weary.
We're cold, we're wet. Is there a place to stay?
Yeah.
She's a bit snappy.
Yeah. There's a place. It's just up the street here. And he kind of points you up the street a ways in a direction as I try to find my sheet. God damn it.
Also,
Oh, God.
glances over. It's like, so what are you, the entrance guest?
No,
Alsana.
I'm Ballad.
Ballad.
Yeah, anyway, you want a place to stay, there's the Silver Staves. Best inn in town. Owner's a family friend.
Yeah. My
Good
local
food.
inn is a family friend as well, so I understand that. So
Yeah.
let's go.
I guess, tell Jeffrey I sent you?
No problem. You've been kind, and Alaris flex him a silver piece.
Catches it. Oh, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ballad. So it's very nice meeting you.
Same. I don't suppose you're heading back out of town today, right?
No, I suppose we're gonna rest here for the night.
Why do you
If not longer. Not a bit longer.
Why do you ask? Just the weather or something else?
Half thinking of hitching a ride out of town.
You?
So I get like
What are you running away
stops.
from?
I
If it's just family,
Having
you can say
second thought.
family.
No. Family's not, no. I've got a first debut tonight, and, I don't know, I think it might be better if I just left.
I assume your name is in line with your profession.
A bard by
Mom?
trade?
Not exactly a bard, just kind of a dabbler, I think. Mom named me this because she really loved music, and, I like it too, but I'm not good enough to play for a crowd. I'm not.
How'd you get
He
the job
starts
then?
pacing again. Jeffrey's a family friend. Of course he was going to give me an in. They're biased.
Well,
They
if you don't
know
think you're
me, so of course they say that I'm good, but I'm not.
if you don't think you're confident enough, why don't we find a place and you can give a rehearsal? We're your small crowd. We'll be your
Yeah.
We'll be your
We'll be
test
we'll be
run.
your test.
Curiosity, are we the first or a number in a series of visitors to the town you've dropped your daily dilemma on?
Sorry, what?
So you seem very trusting for people who just walked into town.
Yeah, well, you're the first people to walk in, and I'm sorry, I'm a
Need to
little
vent?
strung up. I'm strung up. I just strung out. Oh, I need to,
Get
Take
yourself
a
in
breather.
tune, perhaps.
Take a breather.
If only I could.
Get back into the warm.
Maybe. No, I'm gonna stay out here a while longer. You could go ahead, but thanks for the offer. Just gotta.
All right.
He slaps his cheeks a few times. Gotta get this out of my head. I might see you later if I don't decide after all to just, I don't know, go crawl under a rock or something.
Alzana will just kind of lightly tap him on the shoulder and just lean in for a whisper. I can help things out. If you'd like to make a little deal, come by me at the inn. He taps the shoulder and walks off.
Hey. Alright, and you walk off, and he kind of remains behind, not pacing any longer, more staring after you with a questioning look on his face. But you're able to follow his directions to the inn he mentioned, and you're able to find it fairly easily. It's a warm-looking place with light spilling out the windows. A sign above the door with a set of crossed, what looks like wands almost, but longer, done in a silvery gray paint. And there's, of course, the silver staves. There's a couple of stories. Looks like a fairly large building. You head inside, and it is as warm inside as the light spilling out promises. Quiet. It's only a slight murmur of conversation. As you enter the larger common area, see the tables scattered around in front of a large hearth towards the center of the room. There's a long bar counter on one side. Nobody's behind it at the moment, but there is a tall, broad-looking man within the room itself, picking up a tray from a table with a couple of empty cups balanced on it, and he turns towards you. All right, visitors from town? Haven't seen you around before. Awful weather.
Also, I'll walk
Yeah.
Yep. You all right there?
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, we've just been out hunting.
Ah, well, there's a
We
butcher's
need a
down the
place.
way. Otherwise, I could take care of it if you want.
I'll
Oh,
handle it
no,
myself, thank you.
uh,
However, if you have a sharp knife
yeah, I
in the
think
kitchen, I'd
okay.
be grateful.
Kitchen, mostly I do the cooking back there. Unless you plan to be working for a meal, perhaps, in a place to stay. I've done deals like that before.
Just need a
I
place
could
that we're
use...
willing to pay for our night stay as well.
I could always use a hand. And he gestures with his left hand, the one not supporting the tray, and you see about halfway up, 2/3 of the way up the forearm, is a stump topped by some sort of mechanical apparatus that looks like it could be adjusted for basic gripping.
I mean, if you need the help, I'm always ready to help.
Could help out for drink in a room.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Got always a bit of cleaning, a bit of cooking, bit of serving if it's a busy night. Might be. Got a young lad coming in to do a bit of a performance tonight. Should be good.
Oh,
Lad's talented. Ah, you met him, huh? You know him?
He sent
yeah,
us in your
yeah,
direction.
yeah.
Well, maybe I need a little less help than I thought. But I'll still take it if you're offering.
I just need a knife.
Uh,
She just like
help.
and starts going up this, going up to, actually just also we'll be staying the night.
Right. Let's go ahead and get you some keys and some rooms. 1 second while I get this off my hand. Goes over to the counter, very deftly slides the platter onto it, using the apparatus hand for balance. As he passes by closer, you get kind of a better look at him. He seems to be somewhere around middle age, and you see this scar across his left eye, and you realize the eye itself is this milky silver color across the pupil. And oddly enough, occasionally the light seems to catch strangely on patches of his skin, making them glint. He's got dark hair, cropped short, a little gray at the temples.
So Sana, can she figure out if he's like anything more than human?
Go ahead and do me a nature check. +21 plus your guidance. 22. That's enough. Especially given that nature, in this case, overlaps a great deal with arcana and magic for you, as you kind of give a look, realize that those kind of look like scales, and you're kind of going through things in your head. Various lizard folk races, snake folk races, maybe even fish. And then you go, oh wait, there are these rare sorceress bloodlines, said to be descendant from, or else perhaps granted power from various dragons. And those look very silver.
Silver, huh? And she gives a glance over. Might I ask your last name?
Lyle.
Lyle.
Jeffrey Lyle, at your service. Or perhaps you're at mine. Anyhow, those keys, and he pulls out. How many rooms for you? 2? 2 sets of 2?
I think 2's fair.
2 is fair.
Alright, 2 beds per room, 2 rooms. Here's the 2 keys, and he puts a couple on the counter, slides them forward for anybody to take. And
Yeah, I'll definitely take one of the keys.
and I'd say for the rooms and basic board, I'll give you the old family discount for promised help and for a little bit of a ballad reference. We've got usual rates would be about $1 per room. I'll give both of them to you for 1.
Calder will slap down a silver.
Much obliged. Scrapes it away and kind of drops it into a pouch at his belt. Alright, and you last, you said a knife. I'll ask if you're doing anything messy outside. The snow can wash away. It'll the same. It's not just cleanliness, it's any other patrons who are in or might come in.
She kind of like nods slowly. Understood.
I'll go get you the big carven one. Just 1 second. And he goes into a little bit of a back room behind the counter, emerges just a few moments later with a long meat carving knife. This'll do the trick for you?
That'll work wonderfully. Does it have the little like hook on the end or anything like that?
I'll say that if you're after like skinning scales off or the like, that'll do the trick.
All right.
Right. So, well, that one's busy. The rest of you, where have you been? Where have you come from? Travelers this time of year, not many. Always good to hear stories. Lay 'em on me.
I come from Walton.
Hey, Welton. That's not really heard of it. Afraid. Is it out Umbar way?
It's by Soren. It's near the Soren Wood.
Soren. I'm familiar with. A little bit more. Heard of it? Nice place from the heroes of things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ilars is kind of having flashbacks to all the blight attacks. Yeah, it's nice. The Soren Wood's nice.
Mm-hmm.
See.
As also I was kind of like dragging the bag away over to the room. Just giving it's like, damn well it better be. My work isn't for anything. Just walks down the hallway.
So, all of you from Malton then?
No, I
No.
born and raised in Amberion, actually.
Ah, city folk. Yeah, we get a few of
Very
those
much
out
so.
from Winds of Thor. Not bad.
Nice place up there,
Imagine it's
Windsor.
Oh, you've been?
I haven't. I've only stayed around maybe the mid area of the continent. Haven't even been this far north before.
It's a treat. I've been once in my life.
Yeah.
Inspiring
Have you ever-
sight. Soaring towers and structures and arches.
Anything to compare to Amberion, or do you not know the...
Never roved that far in my days. Mostly stuck around here.
It's a nice small town you got.
Oh, aye. Well, it wasn't always in just this town, of course. Roved up towards the glistening forest, through the golden hills. I did my fair share of travelling and, well, getting into scrapes, and he gestures again with the hand a little bit.
What caused that one? Got a story to tell before we tell ours?
Well, it's not a fit story without a drink to have. Starts pouring out a few basic generic glasses. Here,
So
and how
just
special.
Drop
Lovely.
the head in the
Everything
room if she can.
All right.
And kind of slowly return back.
As for this, got it in my head in my younger days. I was gonna go out, do adventures, be a hero, save people's lives, all the great stuff you hear about in the songs and the stories. Didn't quite work out that way, I guess. Had a bit of magic in me, had some friends with various other talents.
As the son walks back, do you have a penchant for the cold by any chance?
Aye. Observant lass. Anyhow, cold didn't do me much good when we went a little too far up into the mountains. Hoping to find some legendary treasure. Great hordes of dragons long past, you know, the great things that turn a young man's head. Didn't find any dragons or treasure. Found a bloody great basilisk.
Does the son know what a basilisk is about?
You could do a quick nature check, but it wouldn't be difficult.
Right. Guidance as per usual.
10. And your guidance,
11.
11. You know the basics. Something lizardy, snaky, scaly, turns people into stone.
Alright. Is that how the part was lost, or?
A bit. Slowed me down enough for it to get a good chomp. Makes a motion with his actual hand of teeth closing. Slowed down the others.
Ooh.
Then we escaped with our lives. Nothing to sneeze at, really. But we also escaped thinking maybe it's best to leave the adventure to other folk. As for me, a little hard to do certain spells with one of these. When he rattles the contraption on his wrist. Fingers, you know. Certain things are a little twiddly.
Somatic material.
Mostly the former. You familiar with magic, then?
A
Couple of us are, yeah.
And most laymen don't know the word somatic, is the thing. They just refer to it as the waving arms or the twiddling fingers.
Yeah.
Do you, how powerful of a magic did you achieve?
Not very. The best I could do?
On a scale of 1 to 9, how powerful
Asana
was
will
your
just
magic?
like in her hand, like slowly drop down the ice knife and just, you know this one.
Looks at it as I look at the list. I've got some familiarity with that. That was one of the earlier ones. I didn't get too much further. There was one thing that I could do. Actually,
Does he know subtle?
He does not know subtle, as I did not make a character sheet.
All right.
But basically, he might actually be still capable of one thing just for fun.
Casting a couple, yeah.
He says a word, and surrounded by silvery mist, across the room, and he walks back.
Misty Step. I have a familiarity with that one.
One of the rare ones that I held on to, even after the accident or incident.
Who else did you travel with? Any other mages?
Nah. Had a friend who was good with a sword, another one with a bow. We weren't a powerful group.
I'm guessing the name of the inn comes from your lineage, then.
A bit of that, and well, you can see my own staff up there. He points upwards, and you see hanging like above the fireplace, above the mantelpiece, on a pair of hooks, this long wooden staff, pale in color, with these silvery bands around the top and bottom.
She looks at it a bit, and she can tell it's a magic-y, yeah?
Yeah, it's fairly magic-y. It's not powerful, it's just simply a arcane focus. It's not capable of doing things on its own.
With a sparkle in her eye.
Yep.
Well, perhaps I can, disclose a bit of something, just as long as you, given your experience, I guess it wouldn't be too unbelievable to say that, what I brought back in a bag was the head of perhaps a dragon.
No kidding. Really?
Technically.
No.
Head of a chimera.
One of
but
them.
frankly, you can't really tell the difference.
You
Breathes fire
really
all the
can't.
same.
I suppose. Never really tangled with one of those.
Well, we did on our way here.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Got some good hits in. Yeah.
That and came across this little beauty and pulls out the wand.
Well, that's a fancy looking trinket. Mind if I give it a look over?
She gives it a glance. I was having trouble figuring out exactly what it's about. If you've got an idea to it, I'd be happy to hear.
I wasn't really much for the book learning, and I never really had a spell that did the
Identification.
identifications. Yeah. Not quite in my purview, but
She'll just give him a tap on the shoulder. It's like, I'm sure you'll do fine, guys.
all right. So you're basically
Of
asking him to
course.
do an Arcana check.
I thought he was
Basically,
offering,
probably.
but
Well, it's more he was wanting to take a look at it himself, just surface glance.
yeah. Well,
However, I am willing to give this a d20 roll, plus he probably wouldn't have... I'd say it's like a 3 plus your 1d4.
all
Nice.
Bloody hell.
right. 1d4. Oh no, the 1d4's already on it. 20.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
What's that face? You're making a face.
I think I've heard of something like this. Oh, hard to say, but
A name.
well,
a
it's
name.
either a very, very fancy little poking stick, or gives it a little bit of a wave, nothing happens. I feel like there's something about some sort of magic stuff that can do some crazy things. Have you ever heard of a type of sorcerer who gets their magic from just magic itself, and it has unpredictable results?
Does Alsana know about that?
You probably know at least
Wild
the basic
magic?
idea of it.
A bit of a wild source, perhaps.
Aye, one of those. The legend tells, I think, of something that either took on some of that wild source or had it put into it. I can't remember the details, honestly. I've heard too many drunken, retold legends in my time. But if it's something like that, then, well, either the number of gems are just to control that or allow it. Sometimes when you come across something with lots of gems, it's just lots of different spells and you have to focus on one at a time. I don't know for sure, though.
She takes it back and turns it in her hand. I think I need to study this a bit more intently, but
Yeah.
thank you very
If it
much.
helps. If it helps any, lass, I don't think it's a bad thing per se. It's just a uncontrollable thing.
Unpredictable.
Aye,
Towards
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that.
She gives a little twist in the fingers again. Right. Are there any other magic types in the town aside from you?
You get a few in and out here and there. A couple people who might know a cantrip or two. Hard to say for sure. I would say that a young ballad might have a chance at it if he wants to pursue.
There's a
He's
in the background of Asana's head.
He's a good lad. He's got talent. He just has a little trouble getting out of his own head sometimes. I'm hoping to maybe shock him out of it a little bit.
I'll keep that in mind.
Just needs a chance to prove it to himself.
Is there a place he usually stays, out of curiosity?
Aye, with his mother and his his step-family.
Stepfamily.
A stepfather and half siblings, really. Yeah, long story. It's his dad for all intents and purposes. He's been there since he was a lad. It's a technicality that we don't usually care about that much, but it's there.
And she kind of looks at the previous one. Gone
Previous?
gone from the area or gone from this world?
The previous, sorry?
father?
Oh, don't really know, to be honest. I wasn't paying much attention. It actually wasn't too long after, all this happened and I was settling in with the inn and taking over that. I didn't really know them that well. Met Cerulean, I don't know, a few years after. About when she married Warren. Yeah, they'll be in the crowd tonight if you want to stick around and watch the boy perform.
I think I will.
Cheering on their lad.
And what time is he set to make his performance?
Technically sundown, that the clouds being what they are today and the snow and all that might be a bit hard to tell, give or take.
If I had to guess, like how long would that be?
Couple more hours.
Alright. Slowly nods. Alright. Do you know where your silvery lineage is from?
This big, expansive shrug. Far enough back in my family that no one really knows. Some say we were blessed, some say that we actually got an ancestor who was one of them. Personally, I think that the former's likelier than the latter.
Has your last name been in your family for long?
It's been in my family since, father's 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 father. I don't know how far back.
I mean on the side that might be suspected to be, and she, like, twiddles the finger and little silver sparks come out.
As far as I know. We don't really know exactly what point it came into the bloodline or exactly what point it might have transferred branches or anything like that. These things skip around. It's not like my father had the bit of magic in him, but his father did, and so did my uncle, and I think I had a great aunt, actually, who was very good at it.
She kind of slowly nods. I just have a friend or acquaintance. Might have an idea on histories of, let's say, dragons and families. And just a curiosity of mine, I guess.
Huh. Can't say it's ever really been a curiosity of mine, but if you want to look into it, then sure. Let me know what you find, I guess.
She gives like a kind of like not intimidating. What's the word that sounds like it? Oh, my brain.
Intense?
No,
Interrogating?
like acting, like copying.
Imitative?
Imitative, yes. An imitating shrug. Over exaggerated shrug.
Mm-hmm.
God, how did I forget that word? But she just kind of nods. Well, I have all I have right now. Rest of you, well, do as you please. I'm going to be out in a bit. And she walks out the door.
Okay.
Does the rest of the party get up to anything?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Is the rest of the party doing anything?
Kane is helping with cooking, like he said.
Kelda's gonna help with serving, as short as she is.
Odd young lady. But the rest of you, happy to have you. Here, let me show you the ropes.
Alright.
The hand is appreciated.
Well, I mean, gotta make the jokes, if the glove fits.
Hey, there's another one. But yes,
Like-
absolutely. Gotta
Where did
hand
that
it to you,
extra
lad.
Oh, this is gonna be
Asana
fun.
is happy she's not
He
there
will,
right
he will
now.
pun the whole shift.
Oh, he is proficient with the dad jokes.
Yes, he is.
She hears
Oh,
it
man.
resound out the door as she walks out and just like visibly like flinches.
There's a shiver up her spine. Yep.
That man could breathe ice on me and I wouldn't feel as cold. Ugh.
All right. The rest of you are helping out in the inn just a little bit to help cover the discount, just a bit more, make up for it, and just to keep busy. And it's nice in there. It's warm. It's not terribly busy with people, though. Eventually, Jeffrey will assure you that people will start coming in as it gets closer to both supper time and the promised performance. Alsana, what are you up to?
She's going to float back to the entrance.
Okay.
Or at least walk there and then float.
Yep.
And she's going to silently just, if she can find Ballad.
He's still kind of there, shivering now and doing tight little circles.
She's going to float,
Muttering to himself.
just trying to keep out of his view, float over to get kind of close to him.
All right. Do a simple stealth roll. It's not a high DC. And you
she's about to
you
do
have
it, guys.
advantage. You have advantage because you're floating on a broom.
Alrighty. Let's see. Roll 20,
Stealth 9, give you that guidance.
13.
That makes the difference. You are a large, dark shape floating through drifting snow in a kind of a misty gray-white environment. But he is so focused on his own shoes at the moment, doing little circles on the side of the road, that he doesn't seem to notice you.
Just gonna whisper over. Still think about running away from your problems.
Jumps a little, looks over very quickly, and
She's
oh,
upside down.
it's you're bad. How? Wait, what? How are you doing that?
Oh, just a little trick, and she kind of pulls herself up and floats down.
All right, are you magic and you're just carrying the broom, or is the broom magic and carrying you?
Oh, that's a question for the ages, isn't it?
Hmm.
The broom's magic.
Right,
No, I could probably figure it out
you're
eventually.
you're magic too, aren't you?
Smart boy.
That is my technically.
So,
I'm talking myself out of running away because
so what makes you so
You know,
afraid
where would
of
I go?
performance?
I'm gonna screw up, aren't I?
And
I'm just and
So
if I can't do music, then what? What's the point of me? What am I?
you have
You're
I
whatever
was. You're not here right now.
Alsana's
Oh,
the only one
okay.
here you're
Never
helping
mind.
with.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
then,
stayed back in
never
the inn.
mind. Oh, yeah, Alaris is having a drink at the bar. Great, good.
And
No,
she's
that's settled. I didn't think.
she's kind of
Yeah, I
like,
thought we all went.
yeah, no. She kind of tilts her head and goes, "How exactly does you messing up here mean you can't do music at all?"
It just proves it, doesn't it? I mean,
It proves you're an amateur, sure, but so is anyone else who starts. Raw talent only gets you so far.
it's not just that. I've been practicing. I've always liked it. Mom always liked it. I don't know. You don't get it. It's just
Dear, I have an understanding. Magic isn't one-to-one, but it is a art you have to think about and refine, and can blow up in your face and make you a bit of an embarrassment about the town.
Rather not be an embarrassment about the town. He's mumbling into his hands.
But I'd like to ask, do you know magic?
Not really.
Not really. As in
I
none
mean-
at all, or
I mean, as in, I don't know magic words, and I can't do any makes wavy random hand motions. And I can't make stuff happen.
yet? You can't make stuff happen yet. Because I'll
Yeah,
be forward with you. Music and things of its like are wonderful proficiencies to get yourself better at. However, there is a bit of a latent potential within such a craft. Something that lets
Yeah.
you put words into reality, put ideas and thoughts through your performance.
Yeah, I know bards. I know. Apparently my dad was a bard, but, so what? It's not come through me, has it?
Your bloodfather.
Yeah.
Do you know much about him?
Shrugs. Mom just said he was a bard. They got along for a while, I guess. I showed up. He didn't stick around, I guess. I don't know.
She gives this like joking look. It's like, you showed up. Where did you come from?
And he gives you this glare as only a teenager can.
Oh, she knows it well. She probably used it earlier today.
Yep.
Sorry. Well then. I guess it could be worth a look into more about something like that. I mean, if you had to get an idea of something, if you wanted some inspiration, a little bit of confidence, let's say. Would knowing about the potential that lies within your bloodline and things of that sort put any more of a spring in your step, or?
Probably not. Look, I already know he was really good at music and stuff, and I am not, so, it's already sunk.
You see, you've done all this, quite frankly, spitting on yourself. I've yet to hear you play or sing a single note.
I'm really not that good. I've heard bards come through. Jeffrey's had actual bards and minstrels and performers at his place. I've heard them, I've seen them, they're great. They've actually been to, I don't know, schools or through training or with apprenticeships or whatever. They've actually gone places. I am just this kid from down the street who happens to have, parents who were friends with him, and now suddenly I've got a stage, and what? I don't know what to do with this.
How about we start with you? Take a breath.
And he holds it. And holds it. And holds it.
Let it out.
And this flurry of snow goes out and dances around his head. Just being stirred up by the force of his breath.
So, wait, hold on. Is that as, disproportionate as it sounds? Like snow on the
Maybe.
ground or snow in the air?
No. In the air.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I was like,
the
is he
ground
picking
is
up?
Yes, his
snowing
father was actually a
air in
snowblower.
vicinity.
Because I'm like, latent bard powers, holy crap. Got a hell
Well,
best pair
it
of lungs
might
on
be,
the
you
boy.
know.
He's got the lungs of a tuba.
Inhale.
Okay. So, I guess a question. Do you think
Yeah.
those bards, the ones with training and various teachers and mentors and all manner of accolades or what have you, do you not think they started somewhere? Somewhere embarrassing?
I can't. I don't know. I mean, it seems stupid to think so.
Why is that?
I don't know. You look at them and you hear them play, and you can't imagine it.
What, you think they've come into the world with a fiddle in their hands?
Probably not.
Other question. If I so wanted, I could cause lightning to strike directly below your feet right now.
Glances down at the feet, glances up at you, wary.
Jesus.
I could. I won't, as I'm a bit tired for the day. But I've got some magic of my own. She kind of like whiffs up a healing spirit in the palm of her hand.
Yeah, okay. You look like you magic.
Does my existence here put into mediocrity and does it look down upon the stories you may have heard from your generous bartender friend? I imagine
I
he's recounted enough things of him using his own magical powers, going up and searching for the loot of dragons and things of the like.
Well, yeah, but no. What's the question again?
I'm asking if me standing here being able to do more than he can makes his adventures any less meaningful.
I don't know that you can do more than he can.
And she just kind of, what's in the nearby vicinity?
A few buildings, a lot of snow. The road. What are you looking for in the nearby vicinity?
Anything not completely covered in snow or anything of the like.
A little bit difficult because there is a new coating just starting. Are you looking for like a small object? Are you looking for a patch of roof that's melted clear?
I guess either.
Yeah, you probably can see some various patches of roofs, walls, windows that are clear of snow. Haven't gotten a new layer stuck yet. There might be a sheltered bit of a wood pile under the eaves of some nearby house.
Just kind of glance over, snap the fingers, and freeze a few things solid.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I guess.
Okay, would you like to see the head of a dragon I just dragged into town?
You dragged a what?
You remember that bag full of none of your business?
It's your business now.
Yeah.
That was a dragon's head.
No way. That was too small.
Okay, fine. It was the head of a dragon off of a chimera.
Off of a Kaiwata.
It's a beast. One head of a lion, one head of a goat, and one head of a dragon. Breathes fire all the same.
You can see his face. He's trying to figure out if that counts or not.
She kind of pulls up her sleeve. I've got the marks to prove it.
That sounds fake.
She's not at full health. She still has
Yeah.
a bit of scratches
Yep.
to her.
He looks, he kind of wrinkles up his nose. Okay, right.
The point I'm trying to make is just because those other entertainers have come through here, and just because they're farther along, they're older than you, they have more experience, doesn't mean you're any less than what you currently are right now. And what you are is your learning, and what you are is you're at the beginning of a journey, if this is a journey you want to go on.
Probably.
And
So, basically, I should go do this performance, even if I make a fool of myself.
one last question, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you to think anything.
Okay.
What do you think would make your mother happier? Seeing you get up there and blow everyone away and be the best thing? Or seeing you up there trying your best?
I feel like there's an overlap there.
Do you think she'd
Tugging at
be-
the heartstrings, though.
Do you think she'd be as proud of you if you did it without effort? If You just give it your half best. But that was still better than anyone else in this town could ever do.
I don't know. I think she'd just be happy if there was music.
No. She'd be happy that you're playing music. At least. in my
Okay, fine.
Like I said, I'm not going to tell you to believe anything, and I'm not going to even tell you that running away isn't an option. Because it is. If this is something you don't want to do, if there's any other path in life you think suits you better, there's plenty of discovery and experiences you could go on to find. Find yourself in service to a god, maybe hitting the books, being the arcane type. Or maybe a bit of a nature, like me. Or just pick up a sword and start swinging it real hard. You've got a lot ahead of you. But I think maybe it's at least worth an attempt, don't you think? You seem to think highly of the ones who came in town before.
Yeah.
Would you like to be something like that? You don't have to answer. Oh, am I still audible?
Yep.
Alright.
So I'm putting 50-50 odds on this kid being a long-lost relative.
You know what? Now that you say that, she'll just kind of... I'll leave you to think about it. But, just one last question. Do you know your father's name? Your birth father, that is.
I think Ariel is still
Oh, is Ariel
unable to
not here?
speak somehow.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That'd be a hard no.
Maybe the computer crashed.
She knows. She's talking in commentary.
Oh, commentary. Thought there was just a long pause going on. I'm not used to Ariel dropping out, and I'm used to Conrad. I assume any pause for dramatic effect from Conrad is the internet dying.
Voice connected.
There you are.
There we go.
All right. The last thing I heard was "Do you and then silence.
Do you?
Okay, there's a few of those.
One
it-
last thing. Do you
one last thing. Do you know the name of your father? Your birth father, that is? If he was
Shakes
a
his head.
well-respected bard?
No, really.
Even first name?
No. I can ask my mom.
What does this kid look like?
Very pale, nearly white hair. Skin tones very fair. Pale blue eyes.
Damn it, Connor, you put this in my head now. She's gonna pursue it.
I'm surprised.
fuck.
He's a kid with a bar dad who was running away from home when we first met him. Surprised he didn't catch you right away.
Hmm.
I thought you were good talking to him because of that.
Actually, could you point me in the direction of your mother?
Why?
I just like to talk to the woman.
Roll persuasion check.
Like, it's so fitting considering the argument they just had.
Oh, should have been advantage, but 3 double.
3. She'll be at the show. You're not. I'm gonna say no because you might tell her I was thinking of running off, and I'm not. I don't want to deal with that. Don't tell her any of this. Okay?
I won't.
Just don't.
I'm curious about your potential, let's say. I've made a bit of a habit of coming across those with a bit of magic they haven't tapped into yet. I'm just wondering what you're inheriting, so to say. Because
Yeah, you can talk to her at the show.
okay. But would you be open, assuming things go at least somewhat well, to learn a bit of magic?
He gives another shrug. Neither a yes nor a no.
Even just a basic thing. Mending, patch up your clothes. Be pretty useful.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. If things go well. Okay?
I have every faith in you. Sorry, I take that back. No pressure.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell you what, though. For indulging me in this conversation, I'll give you just a little bit. Something to give you a kick in the pants. It won't last long, but it'll help make a good first impression. Just find me before you go on stage.
I guess.
Here, I'll give you a quick little taste. And she just taps his shoulder with guidance.
All right. He's not quite sure what to do with it, but he kind of looks at his hand, says, "Okay."
Go for a high note.
What, here? Now?
Why not?
Sure.
He goes for a high note. It's a little squeaky at first, but the guidance helps smooth it out.
And she just kind of like pulls her finger up a bit as it goes, and just a little bit there.
He's got a good set of lungs. He holds it for a long time, it seems.
She goes, as it goes, she's like, "Well, what do you think of yourself?"
I think that I looked like a real idiot standing in the middle of snowy street screaming.
You're not screaming.
Yeah, okay, fine, not screaming. Piping?
Singing. Singing in the snow.
Yeah, well, I'm heading home. I've got a couple hours before I have to... I've got an hour or so before I have to be there.
All right.
I gotta get my stuff.
She'll just give him one more tap, guidance again. Just
He takes off through the snow.
get used to the feeling.
Okay. He walks off. And very, very faintly, you hear just a little bit of experimental humming.
I assume she feels the guide kind of fade off.
Yep. After a while.
She walks back, satisfied with herself.
All right.
I missed the last part. I'm not letting this one get away. Walks
Okay.
into the tavern.
Lovely.
All right. We'll go ahead and finish out the performance of the evening. It shouldn't take too long
All right,
if everybody is available for it.
I'm good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, a couple hours pass. 1 hour, and you see Ballad kind of in the back room of the tavern, talking with Jeffrey on and off, going behind a small curtained off area, tuning slowly the strings of what looks like a basic, simple mandolin. He's wearing a slightly more brightly colored tunic. It's not vivid, it's not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a bit more color to it, which is perhaps a bit of an odd effect with the paleness of his skin, his eyes, his hair. But the blue color helps draw out the eyes just a little bit more. It doesn't look too bad on him. Yeah?
Sorry. It was a number of hours. Could we have gotten a short rest in there?
You could have gotten a short rest in there.
Could I have
Would you
attuned to the
like
wand?
to attune?
Yes.
Yes, you could. Let me go ahead and let everybody see that.
Oh boy, oh boy.
It is a wand of wonder with a little modification made.
Spell from the wand. Spell
Ooh.
covers an area. Misses to the target. Include target. Targets. You cast slow. You cast fairy fire. You are stunned. You cast gust of wind. You cast detect thoughts. You cast stinking cloud. Heavy rain. Ooh, heavy rain. Oh, that's nice.
You
Are you-
cast lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Cast darkness. You cast fireball.
Grass
Yeah.
grows. Ooh.
And summon elephant.
Do the ethereal.
You can summon
rain.
gems. Target skin turns light blue for 1d10 days. Dang.
Creature must make a con save throw. You become the target. Must make.
This is wanky.
Yeah.
Wonky.
Wand of Wonder is something else. Normally it does not have the ward thing that allows a measure of control. I included that so that you guys don't just decide it's too big of a risk for any fight whatsoever, and then miss out on all the fun. You guys have a chance of controlling it, or you end up trusting entirely to fate if you don't roll high enough. So, we'll have opportunities to explore that another time. For now,
You try for the roll 3 times. Ooh, okay.
it scales.
Alright. But for the performance?
For the performance, slowly during that last hour, various people from the town start to trickle in.
You can also try to eye out a very, pale woman.
You can. I would say do a quick perception check.
Olaris helps in the kitchen if that's needed.
Guidance
Sure.
as usual. Shouldn't be advantage. God damn it, that's a 1.
Oh.
Oof.
Well, let's see
Yeah.
the total at least.
1 plus 3 plus 4, that's 8. Plus your d4.
12.
You're looking for a very pale woman.
One is
uh,
fitting the
yeah.
description.
There are some that are pale-skinned, others that aren't. Some are. You rule out anybody who's not at least human, generally in appearance.
Mhm.
The Dragonborn who come in, the occasional dwarf,
Oh,
the
there's Dragonborn.
occasional gnome. Yeah, there are a few Dragonborn here. You're getting very close to his aura. In fact, you are probably
Makes sense,
just technically within it.
Alright.
But what finally barely catches your eye towards the end of that hour is not so much a very pale woman, but a rather blue one.
A rather blue one.
Yeah. Bluish tint to the skin, rather. And
God damn it.
white hair that seems flowing in a wind. And she's kind of in the back with Ballad, and you see her fussing over him, straightening his jacket. She gives him a quick kiss on his forehead, and he looks the faint embarrassment of a teenager being fussed over by mom.
Well, Also, like freaking, she's not on the broom, but like, you know, the kind of like animation of just the legs or the body doesn't move, just like slides forward.
Yep. As you slide forward, you pick up a few more details of the scene. There's two younger children, one like maybe middle teens, the other one could be just above 11 or 12 or so.
Oh, they're older than him.
One boy, one girl. No, they're younger.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at like 11 or 12, and then the older one might be 14.
Okay, yep, alright.
The elder one being another boy, the younger being a little girl who seems to take after her mother a bit more.
Wi-Fi is being asked for.
Okay.
And they're kind of hanging on, at least the younger one is kind of hanging on to Ballad's arm and chattering at him. You drift up close. All right, dear, you are going to do a fantastic job. Don't worry about it. You'll be just fine, and we'll be watching.
I would agree. She
Oh.
on the side.
Hello, I'm glad to hear it.
Oh,
Have you,
My name's Alsana. Me and the party I was traveling with here was greeted by your son at the front entrance.
You see, give a quick perception. Or actually an insight.
Insight.
Yeah.
Nope. 5-1 again.
Yep. You're focused on the woman's face. You get a faint flicker of motion out of the corner of your eye from Ballad's direction, but you don't really look.
And kind of not seeing it, but kind of guessing it. We just happened to cross paths. But he was a very polite boy, and then we were referred to this inn and heard about the coming performance.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I just wanted to give proper compliments before the time came, I suppose. And another thing, if you'll
yes.
pardon a bit of my prying.
Perhaps?
I've heard that his father was a bard.
Yes.
As well?
He was. Very good one.
Out of curiosity, I have familiarity with a few of them. What was his name?
His name is Roy. Roy Kirkland.
Motherfucker.
Never make a Christmas save.
11. How's that do for you?
Is that right?
In that case, I'm going to do a quick D20 for an insight. Nope. Yes, that is.
That was a D10.
Oh, that was.
Yep.
Let me redo that. Are you all right?
I'm
All right, dear.
I'm familiar with him.
Really?
When did you know him, out of curiosity, then?
Well, she slides a hand through Ballad's hair and combs it into place. 15 years ago or so.
I'm just counting on fingers real quick. Just like,
Yeah, there were a few times where he'd take like a week or two long trip.
Oh god, we have fucking ABC at this point.
well, maybe
Ariel,
for the
You look very pale. Are you sure you're all right? You need to sit down.
Just
Is something wrong?
might I just request we have a brief conversation after the performance, if that's okay with you?
Well, if it's important, then yes, of course. You sure you're all right?
Don't worry about me. I don't want to spoil this boy's performance. I'll be fine. Just tired from the travel, I suppose, and the fight on the way.
If you say so. Kane, you very faintly heard a name that kind of piqued your interest, caught your ear. Weren't quite sure if it was that name or not, but it was very similar. And you look over, and Alsana's talking to somebody and looking. Well, she's looking something. If you want to do an insight check.
He will, but he's gonna walk over regardless of what he rolls.
8. Yeah, she's looking something.
Yep. Alsana just goes, Bellin,
He kind of pushes forward as what's going on.
I wish you all the best. She taps the guidance on it, and walks over and like grabs his shoulder and goes, "You walk with me right now, or you just."
He's gonna just hold her in place. Give me a reason first. I heard Dad's name. Why am I being pulled?
And she will like straight up like just like dig the nails into the shoulder. Walk.
I swear to God, if you make me regret this.
And just like, you've never listened to me once in your life. Make this the first time.
I swear to God.
And she walks off out the front door of the inn.
Before he goes, he puts down. He finishes serving his platter of little cakes. Walks outside.
And she just
All right.
sat on the wall with her arms crossed, looking up.
All right, what's got you in a tizzy?
Ballad is Dad's kid.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you thought we were the only ones? We're near the bard capital of the country.
You're okay with this?
No, I'm not okay with it. I'm just not surprised.
I'm not either. But the situation remains.
What situation?
What do I tell him?
Why tell him anything?
Because if I was in his position, I'd want to know.
Then just tell him.
You know, I'm not most people.
In that case, I can tell him. That way it's less of a...
I'm not asking for you to tell him, I'm asking whether we should. Whether it's the right thing to do.
Look, Alzana, you know people aren't my thing. If you want to tell him that he's got a couple of half-siblings, go ahead.
It's not just him, it's the mother.
I mean, she's got no relation to us.
She's married right now, just... I'd hate to pull down some of the lies that bastard has set up, is all. I'm sure there was plenty of persuading on his end.
Or for all we know... Well, I guess we don't really know anything. Look, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this.
So can I ask then, if you're not so surprised and this doesn't faze you at all, why'd you walk over in such a hurry?
Because if he's in the area, I got some words for him.
Well, we know a potential stop for him now.
Look, Alsana, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've made peace with one side of my family. I'm looking to make peace with the other side. If he's in the area, I need to talk to him, but this kid, it's his journey how he handles his bloodline. If you believe he should know, feel free to tell him. I'm not necessarily more right than you are.
You're right. Sorry, I forgot the whole, thing. So, pardon me. And she
Which
walks
thing?
back in. And
You hear the beginning strains of some mandolin music coming out as you're speaking.
and she kind of like pauses in the doorway. The part where you have disinterest in your half-siblings. She walks in.
Again, we'll head back in after and go ahead and continue serving food.
The food service is pretty much done at this point. It's sitting down and listening to the music. And he's not bad. You can tell he's a little shaky here and there. He fumbles a note a couple times that you can tell. But otherwise, he's pretty steady for the majority of it. He smooths out into a better cadence and starts to gain a little bit of speed and confidence as he goes along. Goes through a few songs, mandolin, voice, mandolin again. Knowing what you know now, there's no stylistic similarities, but you can't help but imagine them there. You know that your father was also very fond of using his voice in performances, and he preferred instruments that allowed him to do so. Lyres, mandolins, harps, well over woodwinds of various kinds.
Also,
But at the
tries our
end-
best to enjoy it, but is having trouble.
But at the end, ballad finishes up. There is a round of applause. Maybe not uproarious, but solid. He stands up from the stool, maybe only a little bit shaky, gives a quick bow to the crowd, and turns around and walks more or less steadily back into the back room. You see Cerulean and a human man beside her. Their other two children get up, and as the rest of the townsfolk are also rising and starting to talk the hum of conversation rising in the room again, and they also head towards the back.
So I'll kind of look over, think about what to do for a sec. Swear to herself, get up and kind of walk in that direction.
Kane is already on the way.
Alright, Calda, Ilaris, you see these two get up and head somewhere with a bit of purpose.
Oh.
Call's gonna try and just scurry and
what's
follow.
that? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Alaris is also just gonna follow in.
Alsana pause at the doorway and it's like, what happened to me taking the lead on this?
There for sport.
Cute.
Oh, always. Let's go.
Oh god, we're going more of a party. What do you two want?
Just seeing if you're okay. Walking with a bit
fine.
of.
You don't
Appreciate
sound
it if you
fine.
let
I think it's fine right now, Lars. I feel like these two need to deal with something.
be appreciated if you let Alsana
Yeah.
and me handle this.
I need to
Go
do
for it.
something.
Okay.
You can sit at the doorway, brother.
Yeah, the inside, sure.
Go for it. Alsana, can I have the room key? Just I'll meet you up there.
She tosses it.
Yeah, just call us if you need anything.
I'll close the blinds for you. Calda's gonna start dragging Alaris back.
I'll be at the bar.
Alsana will
Have fun.
head over to the door that she saw them going
Yep.
in, rather.
Yep.
She'll give a light tap.
It's just ajar, so it creaks a bit on the hinges, and after a moment, you hear footsteps, smaller ones from inside. Door opens, and you see the small girl, who looks a fair bit like her mother, looking up at you. Hi.
Hello, dear. Can I ask how the performer's doing?
He's doing okay.
She kind of
Shaking.
leans into the room a bit.
Shaking like a leaf, she says over her shoulder, and you hear a "Shut up, Blue!"
Blue, of course. And leans over. So, how'd it go? She calls in.
I don't know, I didn't hear the applause at the end, my ears closed up.
Impressive skill.
She kind of walks in and kind of gives a glance to the mom. And just gives
She
a wave.
glances. Hello. She's sitting there with her arm around Ballad. Well, You said you wanted to talk?
Well, first I'm curious, and she kind of like leans over to Ballad. Did my words of encouragement hold true?
I haven't figured it out yet. I'll get back to you on that.
Give it some time.
No, sleep on it at least.
But yes, could I ask you just step aside for a second? She looks at the mother.
Cerulean looks back, gives her son's shoulders an extra squeeze. One moment, I'll be back. Gets up and heads out the door with you.
Just kind of like looks over and it's like, so about the conversation before.
It was very cryptic.
I think you'll understand why in a second. I believe that you are acquainted with our father, Roy Kirkland.
Oh. Really?
Yes. That's why I had
Our
little color left in my face sleeve.
both of you? And she looks between you and Kane.
Half siblings.
And Ballad to them.
I believe we are to your son. A thought on a whim, son of a bard. It's not a novel idea, but well, I had to know, and she kind of just shrugs.
I see. Well,
Now, so you're a happily married woman. I don't want to bring back old memories. Just
no,
I feel the boy has a right to know, but I feel like you as a mother have the right to decide when that is.
I left the name out. Mostly I thought he's too young to get it into his head to go looking. I was waiting until he was older. Just in case.
She kind of like slowly nods, like, I'm not sure how long you knew him, but what he
Not long.
finds won't be it helped to have some maturity about the situation. I don't think it's just a group of three.
So
No, I
frankly,
suppose not. I wouldn't be
frankly, the fact that
surprised.
you're still around is a good sign.
Say that again?
The fact that you're around, ma'am, seems to be a good sign, though.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drag a day down like this down. But well, I don't know how much longer we're going to be in town, and I couldn't let this exactly slip by.
Well. Huh. I was going to tell him this coming year when he turns 16. End of one era, beginning of a new, all that symbolic stuff, I suppose. It was an idea. But if I do so, should I just tell him about you as well? In case he wants to go looking for you instead?
I'd leave that up to you, but from what I've talked about with the young boy, well, I think I like him better than this one. She kind of
If you don't mind me doing so, I think I'll leave him a short letter. If that's alright.
Of course. Yes, I'll
similar thought.
hold on to it.
Though
I'll
I'd
hold on
appreciate
to it
if
until
you
then.
I'd appreciate if you don't give my name or likeness to him.
I'll leave your letter to say what it will.
Thank you.
She kind of keeps a glance over at Kane. About to say something, thinks better of it. As well. Well, I don't exactly have a lot, but she kind of like goes and digs into her pockets.
Oh no, that's really not necessary, but thank you.
I know it's not, but think of it as a tip for the performance. And she puts 3 gold in her hands.
There's an audible gasp.
The boy deserves it.
Are you... If you're sure...
We're currently on route of hunting down a horde of a chimera, so...
You're not joking, are you?
Oh, my fishing trip was too much of a way out of the place.
That's we're in the area. Shakes it. But if anything, I feel the performance is worth it.
Well, I'll tell him so. At least that much. Thank you.
And don't I guess don't let the context sully what he's got going. He's got a good pair of lungs on him.
A little bit of me that's in him, I suppose.
And as well, if ever, I guess, should we come across him, would you have any words you'd like us to deliver?
I don't think so. I think I've said everything that I needed to say when there was a goodbye. So, no. I think I'm fine.
Alsana nods like, okay, very well, and jots down in her mind extra bolt of lightning. Actually, tell you what. If ever he if he takes a bit more of a swim to the waters of magic, do your best to encourage that as well. From what I understand, your local innkeeper might be able to get him on a bit of a right track.
Well, if it's something that interests him, then I'll encourage it. Of course.
And if he desires more, you can come looking for me. I am happy to aid in quests for knowledge and self-improvement in magic.
All right. You'll leave your names with the envelopes, I hope.
Yes, of course. As well, if you find any odd need to contact us, send a letter to Threshold.
Threshold.
Get it to the...
Back out in Umbar.
Yes. As long as it's addressed to us, and it should get to us somehow or another.
I'll keep it in mind.
If he starts getting mouthy and sarcastic, it runs in the family, don't be surprised.
I had the impression that was just teenagerhood.
She leans out, and she also was like, he's got a bit of it already, and yes, it is.
Oh, lovely.
Don't pay any mind to what he says.
Well,
If you don't mind my asking, the really young one, I assume, not the same situation?
Eddie and Blue?
Mm-hmm.
They're both with Warren.
Alright.
They're adorable, by the way.
Thank you.
Seem much happier.
He's a teenager. He's always gonna look not happy. You know that.
What's your excuse then?
She gives a glance over. I have a number of reasons. One is which you're standing right beside me. She looks over.
As I mentioned, sarcastic and mouthy.
Sibling rivalry, perhaps instead.
Goodness knows I've had to break up enough fights between Eddie and Ballad when they were younger.
Oh god, that maybe runs the bloodline then. I'm kidding. Anyways, thank you. We're sorry, I suppose.
I don't think you should apologize for truth.
You're right. Just the timing, I suppose.
Well,
it's a good day for the boy.
hopefully it leads to one's better. Thank you for telling me and everything. It's good to know. Well, I should probably be getting my family back home. The little ones have been up a little bit, long enough.
And she gives a nod. It's like, yes. Again, thank you.
Well, if I don't see you again before you leave, Lyrie, then good luck out there. Keep well.
All the same to you.
I'm sure I will, though, since you need to leave me the letters. I'll let Jeffrey know that if you want to drop them off with me, he can direct you to my home. If not, you can leave them in his keeping. He'll hold them for me and pass them on.
We'll keep it in mind. As just a small aside, any of the younger ones have a bit of a sniffles or anything?
Not at the moment. Eddie just got over a little bit of a cough about a week ago, but it's cleared up.
Alright. Well, if anything crops up before we head out, let me know. I've got a way with the sickly.
One
Magic.
of many talents. All right. Thank you again. And she excuses herself, heads back into the room.
And kind of as she goes in, Alsan will just lean in and just, you did great even if you don't think so, and walks out.
There's this moan, thank you, from inside.
She gives a chuckle.
And I believe we're going to go ahead and call it there because we went a little longer than usual to get through that.
Mhm.
All right, everybody, for the battle that happened earlier, plus a little bit for various roleplay and so forth, take 800 points of experience. Go ahead and add it to your character sheets now. John, I will add it to yours because you're no longer in the game. So I'll take care of that for you.
Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine. I half expected it. It's messing with your roll 20, isn't it?
Yeah,
So?
it's awesome.
375.
Should we take a long rest?
I don't know where.
Yep, go ahead and take a
Wait,
long
yeah,
rest. You are
take a
staying
long
the night
rest.
in the inn. I've clicked that for you as well, John. You're all set.
Perfect.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody really wants to bring up for the recording? If not, we'll go ahead and end it.
Just a small curiosity. Who helps out in the kitchen and how well do they do?
I mean, Kane's in the kitchen.
Alaris helps out in the kitchen.
Very good.
I'll say Ilaris has enough experience just being
Dad cook.
helping out at home, being dad.
Dad cook.
He's on the
yeah,
grill.
basically.
He can at least help stir pots and chop things and keep an eye on stuff, turn things over when they're done.
Alright. Yep, then I think, unless anyone else, that's it.
No, that's all.
Backstory,
all.
yo.
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
Mhm.
fucking... Fuck you and your thematic bullshit, Ariel.
Thank you for your
God,
thematic bullshit, Ariel.
We
Someone-
will
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Let's save that for after
There's
recording.
just so much.
I can't believe we started off with sibling rivalry in this before we knew this was happening. It's great.
Yes.
I think we have the episode title.
Mhm.
Sibling rivalry.
There's more puns there. We'll figure it out.
Oh God, do
I'll
we
stop
need-
the recording.
Yeah.
Do we need more puns?
Goodbye.
Of